Pat, slap my ass! It's time for conversation with the big guy, pal!
Welcome to Conversation with the Big Guy. I am the Big Guy Ryback, a.k.a. the most polarizing man in sports entertainment, and I'm sitting here with the one, Pat Buck.
Happy to be here on our 50th episode. Can you believe we've been doing this for 50 episodes? The Big 5-0.
How the fuck did we make it this far?
2 weeks would be a year, man. I don't know if we're going to celebrate for a full year of podcasting.
I have 3 lines of Coke and hard liquor waiting for me for after this podcast.
So it's the 50th episode, man, and I don't know if we celebrate now because it sounds like a better number than 52, but it's almost a year, so cool.
When will the year mark be? I feel like we're right about to hit the 2 million download mark.
Yeah, by this time we should be at that. I already lied and said we were, but
Oh, I didn't know that. We're right on the verge where it's any day it can go over. So it's thank you, I think, to our fans and our listeners and the people that hate our guts.
It's the same. It's 50-50. So 1 million's been for support, 1 million's been for hate
for their shitty podcast to talk about stuff. Did I tell you this? I'll just go right into this one before we kind of catch up for the week. But I was doing my cardio, my first training session after my weights the other day, and I saw, I'm not going to give the guy any credit by saying his name, but his initials are DT.
Okay.
And I guess he has his own podcast, and I don't think it's anything significant or major, but you know how, like I told you on the YouTube thing, when things will just pop up, and like, it was a random thing with me outside, and I go, what's this? And life has been good since deleting social media, but you could see comments anywhere. And this was, though, for this guy's show, he had been a longtime supporter of me,
okay,
and fan, and it supposedly because of the Warrior comments, because I saw the sheet and talked about the possibility if that was. Of all that thing, that was it. He couldn't take it anymore, that he couldn't defend me any longer because in his mind I lied, but he's reacting to a dirt sheet headline.
So lifelong supporter, one headline just breaks his spirit, and now he's broken.
Broke his back and humbled him like the Iron Sheik, and he is no longer a fan of Ryback because of the clickbait headline and because it's so outrageous. And then, which him and whoever his other co-host is not nearly as cool as you. They were talking about how I was caught in such a lie that I tried to babyface my way out with Dana Warrior online, and I'm just thinking like,
ugh,
could these guys be any more clueless and wrong? That the woman didn't listen to the podcast; she was reacting to another clickbait headline. And I tried to simply guide her in the right direction I've had positive experiences with her in the past. No, Dana, this is it here. Please listen. And saying what I'm saying, and which she again doesn't, and responds in an unfavorable way. And in their heads, though, they don't understand. It's like, how am I supposed to respond to this woman whose husband passed away the way that he did? And am I supposed to attack her publicly online? Am I supposed to attack her?
You're put in a situation where it's kind of
it's a no-win situation.
It's a no-win situation, absolutely.
Over a ridiculous thing that had no business even, that was just reported wrong from the beginning. And I was just like, guys, God, it's just so, people disappoint me left and right. But it's I'm better off for not having him as a fan if one clickbait headline can swerve him that easily. So.
I was going to ask you how retirement's been since walking away from. Although I've stayed there, and it's been mostly good. I've taken over our Twitter handle, the CWTPG, even though it's still plugging your old supplements too.
Only occasionally on the supplements, on things that have to do. Only the Feed Me More Nutrition and my Ryback 22 are the two that are for the supplements. Those are always, but occasionally I'll throw the CWTBG, like for like the goal boards or the bulk I'll do and whatnot. But yeah, I try to limit that one a little bit as far as on the promotional stuff. So even on Twitter, it's been good, man. Not having, I told you I used the Buffer app, and Instagram I got to like download to put a message out, put a tweet out, or not a tweet out, a picture, and then delete it just so I don't have it on the phone, because it just downloads right away again whenever you need it. And because I don't have the app, I don't know of an app that puts out your Instagram stuff.
So you'll download the whole app, put something out, then delete it again?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just so it's, that way I'm not triggered to want to check my phone. I wish more. I highly encourage everyone to try this, of deleting the social medias off your phone. It will, I'm telling you, it takes away the urge from constantly wanting to check your phone. And just putting yourself, whereas like if you're doing something and you stop at a light, oh, I'll check my Twitter. You know what I mean? It's not there, so I don't have that urge to do that. And it's good, man. I wish, I told you I did this back in the past numerous times when I was up there, and it always made me happy. But it's good. I think there's a lot of good with social media, but there's so much bad, and I feel like a changed man. Like I'm just not. I don't have to worry about anything. I'll ask you what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm not a changed man, and I've been reading all the. Well, like I said, 8 out of 10 of them are great, and then a couple of times I'll see things I'm like, holy shit! Like this one fucking psychopath, legit psychopath. I mean, it made me respect the people that put insults or the ones that say certain things, because this guy took it to a whole nother level. So he was listening to the podcast, going through the songs that we plug, the ones during the Song of the Week thing where we do our little plugs coming up.
I can only imagine where this is going.
Taking notes on it, like last week, Lana Del Rey, whatever, that song. And
what did he fucking say about Lana Del Rey?
He fucking tweets our names, then messages Lana Del Rey going, do you know these guys are playing your song on a podcast, and I'm pretty sure they don't have permission. And I was like, wow, holy shit, this is a real fucking person writing this. Like, and what is he? And I try to break it down. I'm like, okay, so this guy,
your song.
He's listening to the show. He's figuring out, okay, they don't have copyright permission, which is a completely gray area in podcasting, by the way. Like, you can do that. You can, if someone wants to make us think about it, but we're not making money off. It's an open. It's still not. There's laws about it, but at the same time, it's like, it'd be pretty hilarious if Lana Del Rey sends us a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, I mean, everything is in a positive light on that, and it wasn't a. I love the song. I wanted it. I listened to it daily at the gym.
Which, if anything, it would help. Get some downloads for old Lana. But I just imagine, what is this guy like hoping that like Lana writes back and goes, oh fuck, thank you. I'm gonna look into this. Like
maybe I'll get a date out of it. I don't know.
He wrote
hey Lana, you single?
He wrote to REM when we did the Mean Tweets, that sad song, Everybody Hurts.
Yeah.
I'm like, this fucking lunatic. And then I'm like, let me check out this fucking curmudgeon. Let me see what kind of life he has.
Yeah, he's unemployed.
Well, he tweets a lot of wrestlers. I'm like, okay, he's complimenting a couple. And then
chink in the armor.
I go down a few, and then I'm like, oh, of course, he's telling wrestlers to kill themselves and things of that sort. So real winners on Twitter. I was, it's one thing to poke a jab like, hey, you suck or fuck you, but another one like, hey, to make notes on something just to be a complete and utter piece of shit. So there's just. I think it's slowly ruining me, but I can't walk away from it, man. I get my phone and I go through everything, and I'm plugged in, man.
Can you imagine just going through your day and going from famous person to famous person and just thinking of what mean thing you could say to them to get blocked? Like, this is what people do.
Yeah.
I really wish it wasn't that way. It sucks because people are better than that, I feel like. And
I know we talk about this a lot, but again, this is conversation with the big guy, and this has been a big part of something you've had to deal with, and I'm experiencing for the first time with. But the Rybuckers, I got to give them. They're slowly growing, and they're getting out there, and they're being more vocal, and for those people, I appreciate them because they're attacking these wastes of life, and just it's refreshing. It's awesome. So thank you guys.
And just Rybuckers out there, I just want you to know, since I'm not out there to fight the fight, we need you more than ever, and to take out these lowlifes. We need you on front of the line, just fighting, and we don't stop. We stay hungry. We get hungry, and we stay hungry, and we attack.
You find out where they live, and you kick their
asses. Get them fired from their jobs. You get them blocked and their Twitter account suspended. And we don't stop until they're all gone. We're going to be doing this for a long time, guys.
So what's going on? It's a short week, because you're heading to the land down under, and we recorded like 3 days ago, I feel like. But what's going on? 4 days ago.
I'm going down to Australia for my big Thunder from Down Under debut.
Oh.
Doing a little Magic Mike type dancing down there. Figure I'll start off in another country. I won't. Maybe I can, before it hits what I'm doing. But great paydays for that. And I got a couple clubs down there that I'm going to be out dancing in.
Do you have an outfit? Are you like a construction worker? Have you thought this through? Like what your character is?
Yeah, I'm... No, I'm not. I'm not giving it. What I was going to say is just too inappropriate. It's just showing very little Pat going out there and just the big guy's hungry, and just letting that be known to everyone in the audience.
All right.
I'm looking forward to going over there. I leave here, and it's a flight to LA, 3-hour layover, and then it's almost a 14-hour flight out there, and I think it's a 14 hours and 45 minutes on the way back, maybe.
Okay.
And it's to LA, and then I'll get back here in Vegas Monday morning. So I got my first couple matches back. I was looking at the thing. I thought I had to get in. I'm leaving here Wednesday night, getting into Australia Friday morning at like 6-something a.m. I thought I had to wrestle that day, and I was like, oh, man, that's going to be rough with the time change. I don't know how. You never know how you're going to sleep, and hopefully I'll sleep like 10 hours on the flight and then stay up, but I'll probably get tired later in the day. Mm-hmm. I've been through that before, so. But I have all of Friday off. The shows are Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
And then I come back Monday morning, so that was like, oh, that's good. I have a whole free day in Australia. So,
a hell of a man booked that travel and made sure that it's that was a tough one. I did that, yes, of course.
You have done I even told Jeff, I go, Pat's done a great job on getting me booked and doing. You've taken it to another level by doing the travel, which I feel like it's much more stressful having to do that. Also, that's time consuming. That stuff.
It's time.
You're a busy man.
I think it's less time consuming because if they find a flight and then they send it back, and because obviously you have to get to the show. Any wrestler has to get to a show if you're a fly-in. But like, I have to get the flight, pick a flight, or they suggest one, show you, get approval. Now I can just look at it and go, I think this is going to work out well. I could actually book it and send it to you and send it to the promoter. And if there's a problem, I can change it within 24 hours. But it's also a little scary because I'm paying for it. And I got to chase these, hooligans down to get reimbursed, which so far so good, but some of them are a little.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Tougher
Everyone
than others.
Seems like they've been pretty good about it.
Yeah. You got things coming up. This was new to me because I just relied on the promoters to do it, but it's like today, for example, I got hit up for, even though the internet claims you're not booked anymore, a guy from Omaha, Nebraska got my phone number from Fake Naitch. He's like, hey, Fake Naitch was talking about you guys, and I want to book Ryback in Omaha. And I'm like, okay, let me get back to you, because I don't want to talk on the phone. Like, text me or let me get it in writing, email me. But I'll talk. Some of these guys are older, and they don't want to text. And
yeah.
But if you go to, I don't trust someone booking travel in Omaha. We saw what happened with Paul Lee. Like, let's just.
What do you think that conversation was like? Fake. I really don't like them, but he does a hell of a booking. He does good business. Like, woo. I feel like something like that was said. He goes, I don't like them calling me fake Naitch, but the guy does good business. Woo! Woo!
Paul Lee.
I like Paul Lee. He's a hell of a character.
He's a how can you not like? We found. I don't think we talked about this. We found a WCW match with Paul Lee.
You found it.
You
get all the credit for that. Yeah, that wasn't me. That was you. I love the fact that you were searching for Paul Lee matches. That's a whole other. I want to know what was going on for that, but I am glad you did because he was in WCW, right?
Yeah, and I think what happened was, this is what I'm going to gather, because we talked about this on the past episode. Paul Lee's a guy, has a little promotion down in Georgia, been working for 35 years. He's a imitation Ric Flair. That's his thing. He has the blonde hair and the
I don't know, Pat. The Ric Flair endorsed him and called him the real Nature Boy. So
okay.
That's all you.
The real Nature Boy, Paul Lee. And I was on Facebook one day going through. I think it was a Facebook group that was insulting him though. But a match popped up between him and PN News, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Another one of my favorites.
Of course,
I was torn on that. Who I was rooting for? Yo baby, yo baby, yo.
And I watched the match. I'm like, "Oh my god, this was real," because I've met many veterans up here, or claim they are veterans, that claim they have a WCW match, or I've met many delusional older wrestlers in the independent scene, like, that will lie.
Really?
And all the fucking time. And I saw that. I was like, he was there. But so I think I'm wondering if this is true. It seemed like it was around the time period where Flair left to go to WWF. So I'm wondering if they brought him in, like, look at this guy, let's have him get, because he was enhancement. He was thrown around.
Fake Razor and Diesel before the fake Razor and Diesel.
That's what I was wondering, because I'm like, this is around 91, I think, 92. So maybe there's something there, because he was announced as the Nature Boy Paul Lee in WCW, and, you know, bumped and fed and, you know, did the favor for old PN News.
PN News matches never really went long, nor did they have to. But the guy, I think that's, you know, I would like to see another type, a character like a PN News in wrestling today. Just that like, Brodus Clay's one. He's a big guy, like very large, tall, large human being. But Brodus has some muscle on him.
Yeah.
He works out all the time. I want a guy like PN News. Maybe even doing just straight up that rap. That just give him the whole deal. Yo baby, yo. That feel good. That would just a large, like that Mabel type character. Just that guy that, because that's an attraction.
Like Falaba in a singlet, kind of like that heavy.
Yeah, but Fala's enormous.
Yeah,
he's an attraction too. But I want that 6'7", 6'8" attraction. That's the tall and heavy. Where I always remember when I watched Mabel and Yokozuna as a kid, but Mabel, I was terrified of him because I always thought, I go, man, if he falls on the wrestlers, he'd kill him. Like, because it was just that's how my kid mind saw it, you know. So, but because they were always such a threat because they were just so large. But there's not a lot of guys like that. I don't even, in just real life, I don't even see them that often.
I think the thing with Mabel too, I follow this guy on Twitter. God, I should give him credit. And he always has these cool like memes of wrestling moves, and he had a bunch of stuff on Mabel today. And it was Mabel doing the old snap mare, like the Mr. Perfect neck snap. Apparently,
really?
Mabel used to do that, yeah, and did it well.
Wow!
And someone brought up a great point that you have this young, because he was super young, gigantic dude that could do this athletic stuff, but you give him the shitty name of Mabel. I'm like, that's a good point. Mabel's not a great menacing name.
It's not by any means. I have, you know how it's funny you remember things as a kid, and I would like to find the WWF magazine that I read this in, but it was an interview with Mabel, and one of the, if any of our listeners ever read those magazines or collected them. I might have even mentioned this a long time ago on the podcast, but there was an interview with Mabel in there, and I remember just being a kid and reading it, and it was like, what's your greatest achievement in life? Mm-hmm. And it was losing his virginity. And I just remember it was so out of place. It was so random. Like, everything dealt with wrestling, I felt like. And then there was that. And I remember sitting there, like, looking at the store, wherever I was, like, looking. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And that stuck in my head. That just popped in my head as you were talking right now. Like a Mabel memory with the big guy.
Proud moment for Mabel. I can understand that, being a big dude.
I can't do it. No, absolutely. But it was just, at the time, it seemed it was more of a kid-friendly magazine.
Yeah.
Not that that's not kid-friendly, but it was completely worded fine. It's something that stuck in my head. Like, I was just like, what? Wait, wasn't winning a match? Like, speaking of, to come back around here, I believe, did you want to read? We had a message sent to me today by one of our, I guess he's a fan, he claims, which you wouldn't think that by knowing what his response was to me. But it was in regards to a tweet that he made a couple weeks ago, I believe.
Yes, he did. So I got the message, and a Twitter user. So I'll just read it from here. Hey, Ryback. I recently had a Twitter account at THG suspended. I've been wondering why for a while, since Twitter haven't been clear with me, but I've suspected it may have to do with my tweet towards you around 2 weeks ago. In response to your quote tweet about Emma, I used some explicit language towards your way, saying, "You're a bit of a cunt, aren't you, mate?" You proceeded to block me. Now Now I'm not sure if you reported me, but I just wanted to say I am sorry. I apologize for my language. I was having a frustrating day, and I just decided to lash out at you. I didn't mean to say what I said after all. I understand what you were trying to say in Pat Buck's podcast. I like how he gives me credit.
This is conversation with the Buckster.
In a larger context. Just wanted to let you know I've sincerely apologized for the tweet. I've always been a fan of yours in WWE, and I've been regretting what I said after being suspended since I didn't mean it at all. I was just having a really bad day. And I was saying it in jest, but I didn't want to come across that way. Just wanted to know, was it you that reported me? Would appreciate a response. Thank you for your time, and once again, I'm deeply sorry for what I said. Keep killing it, big guy.
Wow. That's, THG. No, I did not report you for that comment. I actually do remember blocking you, though, after that. I don't really know what to say. This is one of those feel-good moments, though. When,
it's a win.
Because it's a win. This is a win for the big guy. I will honk, honk. I can only imagine what else he said to people because someone else fucking reported him.
Yeah.
So I would go back through your timeline and see who else you offended because I have a feeling it was more than just me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you were having a frustrating day. Probably not best to use social media to handle your anger issues. But thank you for the positive letter, and I have given my official response. It was not me.
All right.
Jeez. With that, I want to turn this around because we talk about, I got another email this week by somebody just thanking us for everything, and we've helped a lot of people, and it's a great feeling. And through just having fun, and this podcast is to have fun, for us to catch up during the week, to promote some stuff, and to keep ourselves active in the world here with everything going on.
I thought the purpose was just to get on the dirt sheets every single day with a new crazy quote.
And then people get mad at me because other people want to talk about me. Yeah. And then, God damn it, he's so irrelevant. Why do we keep clicking and talking about him? Fuck, what is wrong with us that we can't stop this? He's fucking irrelevant. Because it's like, we encourage all of this. Like, guys, please just put everything we're saying on the dirt sheets, because that's what fucking makes my fucking clock tick. But one of the guys was actually talking about the Sportster stuff, and he's like, you don't promote the negativity. But I was like, I kind of think he misses it's all entertainment. Mm-hmm. it's truly hysterical to us and whatnot. And we try to do it in an entertaining way because just talking about the positives all the time aren't nearly as funny.
Yeah.
So it's fun to put a little twist on stuff sometimes, and as far as the negativity goes. But this is one of the positive letters, and I encourage you guys. This is really cool. This is again another reason when you help people, it's a very powerful feeling. And even if it was 1 out of every 100, in one person you're changing their life, and the other 99 they're absolutely miserable. Well, we're changing one person's life at a time. And it's through just having fun. And here's this guy's in particular, the letter I wanted to read. It was really touching. And hey, Big Guy and Pat, I wanted to take the time to thank you both for the weekly motivation, inspiration, and entertainment over the past 7 months. Wow, it's been 7 months. Is that?
No, it's been 12 months, God damn it. It's got to be.
Well, you said that earlier. I think we caught you in a lie, Buckster. I started listening to your podcast in late 2016, hoping to hear negativity and bitterness from a former WWE wrestler. I'm a 35-year-old male, 6'1", and at the time I was 260 pounds of fat. I was smoking pot all day and binge drinking on the weekends. I was living in a world of negativity and self-hatred and living my life like a depressed robot. Ryback's tips of the week, nutritional advice, and message of ignoring negativity and setting goals and taking control of your life was a major inspiration for me to change my own. Pat's example of following your dreams and working hard to succeed in a strange and risky business did the same. Boy, you're telling us. Since December, I have lost 75 pounds eating a diet high in lean protein with lots of fibrous carbs and a moderate amount of low glycemic carbs and healthy fats. I do cardio 5 to 6 days a week for 45 minutes a session and have fallen in love with high-intensity weightlifting sessions, 5 days a week, moderately high weights with high reps and short rest periods between sets. My waist has dropped from 40 inches to 32 inches. I no longer smoke pot or touch alcohol, nor do I ever feel the desire to. I avoid negative situations, people, and places online. I have tuned out from all social media. I have never felt this good about myself or my life. I wanted to thank you both. I left a 5-star review explaining this on iTunes. I don't know if it will show up in the regular reviews since I'm in Canada. Make sure you don't read that one, Pat. Not looking for a free supplement or anything. I know how crazy Canada customs duty, international shipping, and French and English labeling can be. You can go ahead and read it, Pat. I just wanted to give some feedback on something. I just wanted to give something back. Keep up the great work. I love the health, fitness, motivational segments of the podcast and would love to hear more. Thank you very much. But that's just one letter. And I told you I get a lot of these throughout the week. And it amazes me the people losing weight like this.
That's the thing. I think with we started this, like we both, that's really, really your world. I guess it's my world too. Like I've always enjoyed the gym. I like learning. I like eating okay. I like but I think that starting off with wrestling talk and then when we get into like the fitness nutrition, I just think a big part of most of the audience hasn't heard basic or more advanced information like this. That's what I think, at least.
No, absolutely. And that's why we take the approach that we do. And it's I try to talk a little bit about everything. And that's why tonight in our main event, we're actually going to be answering fitness questions and nutrition questions because we have some of them from our listeners and our fans. And things that we take for granted that because we live the lives that we live, they're second nature, but we share these little insights and tidbits and things that have helped us. And I get people emailing, thank you for talking about the pickles. Late at night, I grab pickles rather than binge eating and Zevias and all these little things, these little tricks, so to speak, that help us stay in shape that people don't know about. And it's cool, man. And there's nothing more powerful than helping people. And it's letters like that, emails like that completely make all the negative, bad ones worth it. Like, because that shit's irrelevant. That's the shit that's irrelevant. When you help and change people's lives, that's why we do what we do. And it's cool, man. And so thank you very much for sending that in. And we encourage you guys, if you got a cool story, please share it. And we'll do a better job of sharing these on the podcast because I think it's cool for everyone to hear that you could when you set your mind to something, you can definitely change your life.
It's nice.
Takes 5 seconds.
It's nice not talking about wrestling every fucking waking moments and just like, hey, try this food out or do this. Because it affects everybody. It affects everyone. You got one fucking body. You got to take care of it no matter. I've been doing a couple things I spoke at a high school in Rahway. And I'm like, half these kids don't give a fuck about wrestling. Most of them don't.
No, most people don't.
No, but the one thing that does relate to everyone is like working out or taking care of yourself or diet. I try to segue into that because that's something that everyone has to face an issue. Everyone always wants to be hopefully should want to be in a little better shape or be a little bit, we could always be a little bit healthier. And I think eventually this podcast is going to go more towards that direction. And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I think most of the feedback, a lot of it comes from that, and that's just pretty refreshing to hear.
Yeah, it's I told you I got a green screen now because I got my graphics and editing guy is going to start. I actually had to order a new tripod, the taller one, because the one I have, I couldn't get the right angle on the green screen to film I'm going to start doing more YouTube videos for the supplements and just in general, more motivational stuff, because I want to start getting that YouTube channel a little more active and doing things I enjoy. Like I cut a 5-minute promo in the kitchen today, just the motivational stuff, just talking, and I'll do that regularly. And I'm like, man, I wish I recorded that. And
but what are you going to put in the background for the green screen? Like what kind of like volcanoes or like what's going to be on it?
Probably Ultimate Warrior spaceship type shit. What? What's wrong with that?
No, nothing's wrong with that. If it's
whatever gets people watching it, it's and then I'll get a cease and desist letter from Dana Warrior that's not mine, and just
been there.
Just aliens in it.
You can have a lot of fun with that. You really can.
Yeah, no, I really just a bunch of just random things in the back. I think that's going to be my thing. It'll just be the most random things, but they'll be hypnotizing to you, just like whatever it is, and just I don't know. I'm just randomly thinking of different things. Just titties in the background floating around on one, where you're like you don't even give a shit what I'm saying, but you're just watching. You're just helping those views go up and up and up. And that's something. This podcast, I think, having a balance and talking about various things, and obviously we both come from wrestling, so and a lot of our listeners they listen for the wrestling, and I think the nutrition and the fitness stuff is kind of a bonus that other podcasts don't do. That's why we're more than just a wrestling podcast, I think, on that end. But we kind of, what did we call it before? A hybrid?
I don't know.
Podcast?
I mean, we love wrestling. I mean, I drove an hour after teaching a hell of a class tonight. We've been tooting our own horn, I guess, ringing our own bell here. And
I love that I forgot to bring the bell down.
But we make fun of wrestling a lot. However, we do love wrestling.
We love it.
We do. We have a lot of respect for wrestling. We talk about wrestling. Don't get that misconstrued. But there's just other shit to talk about too, you know. I had a great time teaching tonight. A little tired, but.
And before I ask, I'm going to ask you here, what did you guys work on tonight? But to touch on what you just said, yeah, we make fun of wrestling because we do it and we've lived and been in the thick of it and still constantly, and you're teaching tomorrow's superstars each and every day, and I'm still very active in my career, and you're allowed. It's fucking pro wrestling. You're allowed to make fun of it.
And if you don't, you'll go crazy. Like, you have to realize how silly it is. It's silly.
It's as silly as anything, but it's also creates great memories, and there's a lot of really cool things about it.
Yeah.
But we're allowed to make fun of it. And like last week, somebody, wrestling is an embarrassment to wrestling. Like that got a few responses this week of people fucking losing their shit over that. And it's the truth, though. It's not.
Yeah, you know what?
As far as, I don't know, but what did you guys work on tonight is where I was getting at.
Well, I can actually segue into a story here. So my last weekend, I had a couple wrestling things. I've said it before, being a promoter, I own all my own equipment, so I rent my equipment on the weekends. I do ring rentals. And I had 2 ring rentals for, sometimes I'm on the shows, sometimes I'm not. And for these ones, it kind of came up last minute, so I didn't, I wasn't wrestling on these shows. But I needed to be there because my ring truck, it's my ring, and only me, Kevin Matthews, and Mario Boca were the only ones on the insurance. So if something happens to my ring truck and they crash, unless it's one of us, I'm probably going to get in trouble. So I did the ring rental on Saturday, and I go to this show, and the main events, and it was actually a good show. They run once a year. They had people there. Everyone was really, for the most part, cool. But the main event put me in such a bad mood that I just sat there muttering things to myself, just getting mad at what I was watching. And some of my guys were in the main events, and it was a gauntlet match. So a tag team gauntlet match with like 8 or 9 different teams in it.
All right.
Now, mind you, the show has already gone on very long. We're about literally 3.5 to maybe 3 hours, 45 minutes into the show before the main event starts.
All right.
So the crowd is fucking checked out. They're tired.
That's a long night.
Very long night. And it's pretty warm in the building, but the main event's about to happen, and I'm going, fuck. That's not an easy match to have in a main event, a gauntlet match, because essentially it's supposed to be, even though it's different teams or different people, I think of a gauntlet match, it's really one long match with different independent guys don't think that way. And I fucking watched, there's probably about 8 teams in this, like 8 different matches or 7 different matches. Fucking, and every single, instead of having a match or a gauntlet match where you wrestle for 3-4 minutes, one team wins, whatever goes on, the next team hurries out and tries to capitalize on the situation,
continues the heat or something. Just you make it one long match somehow.
Yes. Or maybe like a mini, a mini story here. Someone wins very quickly. No, not on this thing. Every single thing, except for 2 guys, or 2 of my guys actually did really great. Taboo Crew and Hispania. The soccer players did great. But after that, every team after that, full entrance, they, with their ring gear on, so this team is surviving the gauntlet. You're the next in line to get in the ring, and you take a full entrance around the ring. And this is my big pet peeve, is that I don't understand why independent wrestlers like to walk around the ring in like a full circle when no one's reacting to them.
Okay.
So if you're a babyface and kids are going fucking crazy, I understand going around, but if you're doing that and no one gives a shit, or if you're a heel and fans are just sitting there and you're walking by just eyeing them down, just get in the fucking ring. And it's a gauntlet match. And
it eats up time for sure.
Eats up so much time. You're allowing your opponent to recover. And this happened every fucking time. I realized in my head, I went, you know what? I'm going to teach a class on gauntlet matches on Tuesday today. Just because it probably is never brought up. And there's going to be people in these situations where they think that it's entrance, play with the fans, get in the ring. No, it's not. It's a one long story where you don't wrestle that long. You have to cut your shit down or else fans check out. And that's exactly what happened. I was just kind of mind blown that so many people in this match didn't have the wherewithal to go, maybe we should put it together differently and not have these fucking 7 long tag matches. It just hurt my brain.
I think it's not necessarily always, it's not their fault. A lot of guys, they don't know. I think we've had the privilege of a kind of, and there's no necessarily right and wrong. There's just different opinions on things. But I will say, and I remember Joey Mercury in WWE, whom I love a lot, and he has one of the great wrestling minds. We would kind of always would talk, especially when I was working with Seth a lot in the J&J security, and him and Jamie were the agents for the whole tour on our side and working in the main events with Seth every night. And we were talking about like the ideal length for like a live event show, and he goes 2 hours 45 minutes, Ryan. No, not a minute sooner, not a minute later. 2:45. That's what we have found, or something along the lines of that. And he goes, that's what I like to keep. He goes, people feel like they get their money's worth, but it's not so long that they check out.
I agree.
even in that I would 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes. Like there's some give there,
Yeah.
Especially if it's a great show. But you definitely don't want to go over that 3-hour mark.
No.
It's almost like a movie. I tell you, when I went to the movies, and it's even a movie that's really, really good. If you know it's going to be 3 hours long, you almost kind of check out without wanting to. Even if you don't want to, it's just that's a huge chunk of time.
It is,
so I think too, a lot of them they don't know and they're learning, and it's a process, and that's how they learn though and whatnot, and going out there and realize, well, the people weren't really interested in that, but and you never know, they might be sometimes, but that's a long time to kind of put on a wrestling event. So.
Yeah, I think part of it is a process, but part of it I feel like, and God forgive me, I say like a lot. Last episode, holy shit.
You're catching on. That's what I told you I would do. I say the word like a lot also.
It's one of those things, man.
Two bimbos talking back and forth.
Just two chatty Cathys talking about fake fighting in underwear, complaining about other people fake fighting in underwear.
Yeah. We used to call ourselves Chatty Cathys at Smoky Bones, by the way, because whenever we would get a break, we would get a Diet Coke and or a coffee with nothing but Splenda equal and just aspartame poured in, and just in talk while we would convene in we had our little meeting spaces in the restaurant when we would take breaks from waiting on the tables, but we always used the word Chatty Cathys, I remember.
But what I was saying with things like that, I think people they approach every show that they have to give so much to whatever opportunity they have in the ring. So the biggest problem I think with most independent wrestling matches is the shows are too long, and that the heat is always absurdly way too long. And the people don't. That's what I think, at least. Okay. And I'm not talking about the ones that the really good competitive indie darlings that people know. I'm talking about like your plain Jane, just average wrestling promotion. That the biggest problem I see is that the heat is way too long and the show is just way too long, and that just makes people check out. So, it was just alarming. And I went through with my guys tonight and just kind of explained different things. Like, you're going to be in a gauntlet match at some point. Don't fucking do this. Try to do this. Approach it this way. And it's not always about you. It's about what you can contribute to the show, and you're gonna have to live with that. It's stuff like that. I thought it went very, very, very well.
Pat, I would appreciate it if you gave shitty advice on this show so that WWE doesn't hire you and put you in the performance center to shut down my podcast so I lose my co-host. Because if you keep giving out good advice like this, because I feel like they listen, and they solely just for your nothing with me, just to hear what Pat. Fuck that great golly thing. That's a good idea. We're gonna
bring him in, have him climb and choke the guy.
Yeah,
no, I don't think I'd be a good. Being a trainer there, man, you just have to.
Matt Bloom's a hell of a guy. Tenzai's
I think
a great
they all
guy.
are. I think they all.
Norman, I love Norman.
But to be in a system where you have to train guys, for the last 5 years, I've been training guys about 3 to 4 nights a week in 2 to 3 hour clips. And it's so difficult just for that time period to keep it interesting, relevant, have something new and fresh to work on. For these guys that have to do it 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day, that just sounds and half of them.
It's always been that though. They break it up now though, where there's promo stuff. Everyone has their category. You wouldn't necessarily. You would work on. You would have your game plan mapped out for the week, probably.
Yeah, maybe you're right, but also with people that don't even like wrestling, like that's.
Yeah, I mean, again though, you would have your favorites. I feel like of guys, and then. But you would have to be fair to everybody. That's what you're supposed to in that position. But it's because they have it broken down. They've actually evolved the training to where they got the striking coach and the promo. You know what I mean? They always had the promo coaches, but developmental's evolved greatly from what it was.
They have yoga sessions now where that's part. It's almost like I don't know, like a college curriculum. From what I was told, that they do different things every single day, and wrestling's just a blip on the schedule. There's the weight training, then you go to, I don't know, striking class, then maybe you wrestle, then maybe you go to promo thing. yeah, it seems like a completely different world from what it used to be.
It's this is the thing with that though. It's funny, and I think because you either have it or you don't. Like as far as I feel like being a hard worker and whatnot, but I guess you could always change. But I always thought like in developmental too, I liked being responsible for my success and my hard work or whatever. And it's great that everything is great that they have in place. But like the weight training and forcing guys to go to the weight, because then when you get on the road though, you're on your own.
Yeah,
you have to just have self-discipline. And I feel like if you don't have that to begin with, it's easy to fall off the wagon later on. Like, and that's not everyone necessarily. That's just my opinion on it. But it was. I saw that happen from time to time with guys that were told they had to go to weight training every day. Then when you get on the road, you could sleep in if you want. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be anywhere. You don't have to be to the building till 5 o'clock at night. You have the whole day ahead of you. What do you do? Like it's so. But yeah, it's as far as though like the different the promo stuff and the striking coach stuff and just I think it is evolved into it's pretty cool how they have it now. It's only going to get better.
Yeah,
but I think you'd fit in nicely down there.
We'll see. The negotiations have started, so maybe I'll go down there. No, nobody's called me.
I'll have to find a new co-host here.
So
me bashing you every week. Just piece of shit left me.
I think it's really hard though for WWE if you really think about it. How many responsible people are there in wrestling to actually work in a facility like that? If you really think about it, and I urge people listening, I can't think of many people that are responsible enough to handle a job like that are actually active and promising in wrestling that, work within what they want to pay people, which I don't know. So
yeah, I don't know either on what all that, and I'm sure every position is different. As far as all that goes. But, I mean, it's a great responsibility being in charge of people's lives like that and the young talent. And you're grooming them on more than it is more than just wrestling. Mm-hmm. It really is. And it's but I've been down there with what it was. And it was always cool coming from when just Deep South Wrestling that was in a shopping center, which was a small little building. It was next to a bar. You're
one of the few that got to experience really all three. I mean,
yeah,
going from
there to OVW, which OVW was superior to Deep South Wrestling, and it wasn't necessarily all that much bigger, mm-hmm. but they had live events every week, and it wasn't even live events at Deep South when we started. It was what it was. It was just developmental was slowly evolving, and before that it was HWA in Cincinnati. And then going to FCW, I remember I was blown away by the Florida Championship Wrestling facility and how big it was. And there were 4 rings. Whoa!
Yeah,
we only ever had 1 ring. There's 4 rings that you could this is amazing. And then a trainer's room. Wait, there's people that help you because that wasn't a thing before.
No, it wasn't.
And people before us had it much worse than us. It's just slowly progressed, and where now it is such a level and. It's cool. I'm glad, and it should be. That's the way everything should evolve and get better as for future generations. So it's only going to make you're going to have guys picking it up that maybe not wouldn't have picked it up before because they have the resources there to pick it up now. So
very cool. So anything else happening this week?
Trying to think. I'm just been training like crazy, getting ready for Australia. I've been doing a lot of conditioning stuff and. Diet's been on point like it always is, but just doing the weight training session early in the day with cardio, and then doing like my hard conditioning at night. Mm-hmm. And I busted out 100 burpees yesterday after my workout. Had my ART massage therapist, another guy, come out this morning and really work over my shoulder really good and my back, which he used to work on it when it was really bad. And he just goes, man, this is so much better than it was. Just the range of motion and
from the stem cells
from the stem cells. Yeah, he goes, you're just going to keep getting better, and it even if it gets a little tight after like I did chest yesterday, it loosens up so quick when it's worked on. So he goes, I have a feeling in 6 months you're going to have a whole new body just from the way what he's seen and everything. My back, like before he would work on me, I couldn't get off the table. My back would spasm so bad because it was so fucked up. And like today, I'm like, I didn't even think about it. I just hopped right up. He'd have me flip over. He goes, Jesus Christ. He goes, you really? He goes, you're moving so fucking good. I go, yeah, I've been in a much better mood. I go, I think it's because I was so upset. I was so hurt all the time. And so it was good to actually have him see that today. And like in my back used to always pop really good. And when it was hurt, when it was so tense and the muscles were all spazzed out, my back wouldn't pop. And he today just like pushed on my back and it just like exploded, pop. And he goes, man, he goes, you wouldn't even move before. He goes, you're so pliable now. And so it's, I feel good. I'm excited to get back in the ring. I'm going to take it easy though with my right shoulder. Like the old meat hook. If I happen to find myself in an opportunity where the crowd is chanting, feed me more, when I'm tuning up the meat hook, I'm probably going to throw it with my left for a while.
Oh, really?
And heavily disappoint the crowd.
To hurt a guy, clothesline a guy in his throat.
In his throat, or hit him in the face, and that I'd be.
Have you thrown lefties before? I throw short
I've
arms
done it
with
before,
my left.
yeah. It's the meat hook's nothing more than a tackle and a follow through, which I will probably hit him in the face. No. By the way, who am I working out? Do I have opponents for these?
I swear to God, I talked to the promoter today. We were texting, and I said, "By the way, who are his opponents?" And he went.
Am I main event or no? Also,
I don't know.
Here's what I have a feeling of.
Okay.
This scares me because I have not. I have a feeling. I haven't been to Australia in years. I feel like these are going to do decent. With people coming in because how I don't go over there often.
No, it's been promoted very well, I think.
And I think they're going to put no choice in the main event. And we talked about this is the greatest hits tour where it's. Where I told you my mindset changes when it's a main event match. I feel like it has to go a certain level of time.
Well, what's your
more than?
You've wrestled in Australia before, obviously, right? What was it like?
It was great. I loved it over there. I did a lot of media stuff, and I did some appearances over there. Australia is very much like the United States.
Okay.
Out of all the different countries, they're the most similar to the United States. I feel when I was over there, where I felt very at home over there. I didn't feel out of place like you do sometimes going to different countries. So, but I don't know the venues that I'm wrestling at and whatnot. So I know we got some plugs to do later, but I don't know the two places that I'm at necessarily, the two venues, but I would expect that they do pretty decent. We have quite a good following over there for the podcast too. So, but yeah, I've just been getting ready for that, man. Just training and working on my kicks. I'm gonna be doing a lot of kicks,
a lot of ninja kicks,
just random, just hurting people on the reg.
This is Billy Graham karate kicks.
What do you think the people if I showed up wearing my jiu-jitsu outfit with my white belt?
It would make headlines. Ryback does tour dressed as karate guy.
The whole gimmick is I go out there and I can't quite get the hold to get the guy to tap out, and I followed up with a big power move every time. But that's the story that I tell. It's constantly going back to that hold to try to get the guy to tap, which I can't get, followed by a big power move. And that's the dealio.
All right. Well, we're pretty far in. Do we plug stuff?
Yeah. Is it your turn? I believe it's your turn for the song of the week.
I was scrolling through my phone trying to think of a song because normally I have this prepared and I didn't. But I'm thinking I'm going to go because it'll segue nicely into maybe the first piece of wrestling news. I'm going to do a little Desperado by the Eagles.
Jesus, I don't know any of these.
Oh, you'll know. It was actually the last song they played at my wedding. But
was it?
Very famous for something else that we'll get into when we talk about it.
All right. If we can get that old song tuned up, Shining Wizards Eddie. All right, guys. All fan mail for the big guy Ryback. Please send to P.O. Box 752740, Las Vegas, Nevada 89136. Feed Me More Nutrition. Available here in Las Vegas at Spartan Nutrition. And also, it is now at Wise Chiropractic. Dr. John Wise on South Rainbow. Wise Chiropractic. He is my regular chiropractor here in town. He has the full line at his office as well. FeedMeMore.com. We have great specials still going on over there. And as always, on Amazon. Wake Up, It's Feeding Time, the motivational book by myself, available on Amazon in paperback, Kindle, and Audible form. And Fuel Meals, the personal meal prep service of myself. Save 10% with discount code THEBIGGUY. Feeding Time 2.0, the official theme song of myself on The Independents, available on iTunes. And Holosync Meditation is the meditation program I've been using since I broke my ankle back in the Nexus. That is available on feedmemore.com. We have this podcast, Conversation with the Big Guy, guys. Please continue to keep sharing and reviewing. We keep growing every week and can't thank you enough for the support. The Facebook for Feed Me More Nutrition is at Feed Me More Nutrition, and the Twitter handle for this podcast at CWTBG. And that's it for me this week. Outside of I got the 2 appearances in wrestling matches in Australia. I think one is in Wollongong, and the other one is, I forgive me, I don't have it, but it is on my Facebook and website, guys, on the Facebook page that I have at Feed Me More Nutrition. So,
all right, Thursday, August 10th, WrestlePro doing a fundraiser for the Boys in Blue, NYPD, obviously. Staten Island, New York, WrestleProOnline.com. What else do I got here? If you want to be a wrestler, CreatorProWrestling.com. I believe we're having an open house on August 24th. If you want to come down and see that, check out the old school, watch a couple matches, maybe sign up to be a wrestler. And that's really all I got on my ends. Title Match Wrestling. If you want to see the latest clips from WrestlePro, they have shoot matches, they have death matches. All the feedback, most of the matches that I talk about come from my own company, and they're affiliated with TitleMatchWrestling.com. You can get 2 weeks for free. Again, TitleMatchWrestling.com.
are you working side deals around me here, getting paid on the DL on me, Buck?
Yeah, because no, it's I used to just put my footage up for free on YouTube, and it was kind of oversaturated. So I have an agreement when they help kind of film the shows.
Okay, this is your deal then.
Yeah, so
all right. No, I'm cool with that. I thought you were doing Smoky Bones deals now, just blatantly in front of me. Big dumb Ryback. He's dumb as fuck. He'll have no idea.
No, I'm getting yes, that's exactly what I'm doing actually.
I also want to throw in there. We haven't got him in a while, but Nate at TakedownPiracy.com.
Yes.
Takedown Piracy is an anti-piracy service who is protecting our podcast from being ripped off. And I know these guys have helped out a lot of people in the pro wrestling world. So if you're a podcaster or maybe you're with a wrestling promotion dealing with piracy issues, do yourself a favor and hit up Nate at TakedownPiracy.com. They're super easy to work with and get you great results. And he's done a lot of great things with us, helping us. God forbid, all these the Ryback shoots on this, Ryback shoots on that, Pat Buck shoots on this. Someone today I saw on one of the Ryback's going to do a shoot on shooting.
That's kind of funny.
Which is, yeah. It's like, guys, I don't put this shit out there. We do this podcast having fun. It's all you fucking social media people that put all this out there that Ryback, and they do it with everybody. I can't tell you how many stone cold shoots I see. And I'm just, thank you guys for keeping my name alive on social media because Jesus Christ. God, but Nate is he's great at getting down to, none of them, by the way, link back to the show. They just put their shitty clip up and fucking don't plug anything. So
it's really not that it in terms of the audience we've secured. I don't think I joke around and like half of it hates. I'm sure people do listen because they do hate, but it really doesn't. This stuff doesn't help because they don't link, they don't quote, and the stuff they do take out of that they transcribe. You can't completely understand the context of it because they put a narrative with it and it confuses. Yeah. It really is kind of like incredibly shitty. So,
which whatever. I told you is what people do is they create the headline for the emotion they want to create before you even listen or read to something. It's so Ryback is a piece of shit shooting on this. You instantly read that and you're kind of in your head, have that in your head, and you're looking for confirmation of that headline. And wouldn't
it be amazing though if someone was creative and took the opposite approach, like the amazing Ryback, great human being, speaks about this just to make people go, oh, and click on it instead of having the same narrative for every single person that's like this.
What an original, great idea, Pat! Like our God Ryback, and then That is what a great trend that is. That is.
I'm not going that far. But.
Well, I just did. Honk, honk. Ryback shoots on being God. Fuck. All right.
Ryback claims he's Jesus.
Yeah. Ryback claims he's a modern day Jesus because everybody hates him like they hated Jesus, but he claims 100 years from now he's going to be a legend. God, he was so far ahead of his time. What were we thinking? Throwing stones at this poor guy.
Oh, man.
All right. And with that, we will take our first break.
Yes.
If you're anything like us, you like to enjoy a nice cold soda every now and then, but you hate the empty calories and the artificial sweeteners that come with it. With Zevia, you don't have to pick your poison. You won't feel awful worrying about the potentially harmful side effects because with Zevia, there are none. Zevia uses the all-natural sweetener stevia and doesn't have any caramel coloring either. The result is a delicious and safer soda with none of the nasty stuff. Zevia has 14 different flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling water, and 4 flavors of awesome energy drinks. This is the naturally sweetened pop you and your family will crave. And Zevia is giving you the opportunity to try their products for yourself for free. That's right, for free. If you live in the US or Canada, just go to Zevia.com/podcast and sign up. And they'll mail you a coupon for a free 6-pack. What are you waiting for? Head to Zevia.com/podcast and get your hands on some ASAP. All right, and we're back. And last week I mentioned I tried out Jefferson's bourbon. The last couple weeks, actually. And hell of a bourbon.
Potential sponsor, right?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit. I guess the owner listened to the podcast, and they're right in the Bible Belt in Kentucky. And where we both had lived for some time, and apparently cussing is not something that the owner is fond of. So it really disappointing because I really did like the bourbon was phenomenal. But we're looking for an alcohol sponsor, Buckster, and this week I went with Jim Beam's bourbon, and it's delicious. What are you drinking?
I'm still mad about this guy. This guy creates a fucking alcohol, and it's.
I didn't think about that actually.
This guy makes something that,
ruins
bourbon.
People's lives.
Yeah, a fucking poison, which we love, but mind you,
in moderation, more than appropriate. But again, it's ruined a lot of lives.
Yeah, which bourbon is. Bourbon's whiskey made in Kentucky. That's really all it is. But
yeah.
For this holy roller, apparently our potty mouths
remove
us from this situation.
That was the only complaint, was the cussing. And I was like, well, it's kind of it's a loose conversation. This isn't a formal interview or anything like that, contrary to what people might think. So I don't.
And kids can't use your products. You're 21. You're 21.
Yeah. Our audience is specifically we have that target, that like wrestling, like we have that demographic here. Like it's that 18 to 34-year-old male. That's all that listens to this podcast, and occasionally few ladies.
I've been checking the demographics. We are now up to 3.1% females.
Holy shit! Get out of here?
3.1%. It was 100%
I need to keep telling
male.
women to shake their asses? Is that what it is? Is that getting us more female? Well, let me just see. Oh, he's not that bad.
3.1%. I forget the exact, but it's been consistent. I was impressed because I can't tell you, week after week, it was 100% male, which, mind you, would be the appropriate for people because not a lot of women drink bourbon. There's not a lot of whiskey girls out there. They're more, at least from maybe there were in Kentucky, a little bit more, but, that annoys me.
I think I know the reasoning behind this, and I think I know what I need to keep doing, Pat. If you've noticed on social media, I posted more and more body pictures of myself lately as I'm getting in better shape again. I think I need to do more of that Shawn Michaels with my IC title covering me, just laying on my pool table and just posting. I think that's the key, because I noticed doing that's what attracts the females. The males are going to and we might lose a few males over it, but we might be able to gain a few new female. Man, that big guy is quite attractive. Quite the body on him.
I just laugh. You recreate the HBK scene.
I don't know why that was
table.
my example. What a shitty example. Just, hey, Mom, can you come take a picture of me?
The dogs are just running around. What's this for?
Oh, my Instagram. You just see that go up one day. What the fuck is he doing? I fuck it up though, and you just see my balls hanging. You just like it's just fucking big guy Botches Instagram sexy photo.
Oh man.
Oh god.
So Jim Beam, you're saying?
Jim Beam is. What are you drinking tonight?
If I can be really honest, I know this is gonna be shocking to hear. I'm not drinking alcohol.
Really?
You
had a rough
drank.
Weekend, huh?
Dude, I think I had 20. They didn't have Tito's there. So I drank Absolute, and this is my new thing now. Absolute and seltzer with a little bit of grapefruit juice, a splash of grapefruit, just for the taste. I think I drank 20 of them, man. I was at a wedding and, let the old hair down, one of our new T-shirts.
It's just my bald head. Just let your hair down, man.
So I feel like the hangover has lasted 2 days, and I just need to decompress. I've been just drinking these black cherry Zevia and a lemon lime Zevia and a little water.
Wow, it's all right. I was debating. I'm sitting here actually I'm watching Rusev walk on my TV screen to the ring. I have the SmackDown on mute. He looks in phenomenal shape. I don't think I've ever seen him in better shape. Have you seen him lately? He looks great.
I saw him. Someone took a picture. I didn't see the match, but I saw him in the gym taking a picture, and he did. He looks good.
Tan, fucking, just leanest I've ever seen him. Man, he's one of my favorite opponents. Him, and I told you Rollins. I've said many times. Rusev is just universally liked by everybody. Not to kill it. He's a real asshole in the ring, though. I don't agree with his ways by any means. But backstage, when wrestling's not on the line, he's a really nice human being. But I was debating not drinking tonight because with Australia and everything, I'm really helping. I weighed 275 last night. I've gotten considerably leaner, but I want to be. I never want to disappoint. I always want to be that 285, 290. And I'm fine, but I'm not. I'm probably a couple months away. I can't rush that process training, and naturally it just does. It takes time, and I'm only going about 50%. Not even on the weights, 50% yet. So,
well, what puts that on? Is it the diet thing, or is it the way you train?
No. So for me, it's especially when people they're not going to understand this. All you do is you just fucking do steroids. No, it's a lot of fucking hard work. It's not that, and it takes a lot longer, but. Especially when you lift naturally, heavy weight training, you got to really push the muscle. And so for me, when I'm not able to train as heavy, it's much harder because people, and this isn't taking away anything from anybody that uses performance enhancing drugs, but you can get away with doing much less. You really can. You can take them and not train at all and still look phenomenal. But when you have to push your body. So for me, when I have to go lighter, it just my body can only get to so heavy that when I'm able to train at a heavier weight, that 10, 15 pounds will come on over time. But I'm not. I'm only again. I put a video up the other day, which I people have emailed me saying you need to do more workout content videos on YouTube. You could really do really well with that, and you have people are interested in your workouts. And I put a video of me deadlifting just 225 on my. It's called a vert pull by Brandon Allen here. He's a powerlifter in Vegas. Where I've talked about this before. It teaches you proper form deadlifting, where it engages your hips and your glutes, and you keep your back calves against this vert pull. If you type in, it's at the vert pull on Instagram. You can actually see what this device is. I think it's $150, but it is well worth buying to teach you how to deadlift. And I just put a video up of me deadlifting it 225 times, and the amount of views that kind of stuff gets is tremendous. It gets a lot of views. So but again, I'm used to going a lot heavier. So in that stuff, not necessarily deadlifting, which I do though still, but just everything in general. Like I'm not bench pressing. I'm not doing anything. I'm just giving my body time to heal. And I'm doing.
Now, why does that happen? Because 225 at 25 reps seems like a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of reps.
No, it is a lot. Yeah. And
so what's the difference? Say like, you start going up to, I don't know, 400, 450 and
my body responds differently to that. I put on, it creates a thicker muscle.
Is that what it does?
Yeah, for me, it creates a thicker muscle.
With keeping your diet the same as it is now?
Yeah, my body, it just thickens up because you're putting a heavier load on the muscle, whereas higher reps is more of an endurance type thing, which both have their place, and I always mix it up. But that heavier volume, being able to do that. So if I did that and I'm able to train like that for 3 or 4 months, my body will start going up in weight. And then, okay, I pushed it really hard. I want to cut back a little bit and do a moderate weight or moderate reps, but I'll hold on to my weight because it's not such a long period. I can hold on to it. Whereas it's a process. So it's just working to get back there. And you don't have to train like that all the time, but I like to cycle my training things. But it'll be nice to be able to go full blown again. I'm probably 2 or 3 months away from being close to that level. But like I said, it'll be left-handed clotheslines for a while and, fucking
broken necks,
broken jaw, shitty kicks into the dick, kick up into the face, super kick into the neck, shit like that on the reg in Australia. All right, what's going on? Got any wrestling news?
I do. The top story, which I don't necessarily know is a story, but did you watch UFC this week at all?
I was gonna order the fight and I didn't. I ended up training late and I had already missed a few of the fights. And I wanted the Buffalo Wild Wings, which I've gone to watch before. They tend to get packed now because this area, nobody lived by me before. Now it's packed with people. So I didn't. I was just like, I didn't feel like going and standing in there. But I saw the results.
Well, obviously, John Bones Jones won the light heavyweight title.
Yeah,
he called out Lesnar after. Which made its news, and they're going to have a super fight. It's obvious eventually they're working towards kind of stealing something from the playbook of Conor McGregor and Mayweather, but not on that big a level, because I feel like what they're doing is so much more out there, but going towards the super fight aspect and this attraction thing. Bones is in the 205 weight class. He walks around at 225 pounds, I believe. He's 6'4", I believe. And Brock walks around at what, 280, 290? I'm not really sure.
It depends. He fights at 265. That's the heavyweight, the cutoff weight for heavyweight, I believe, right? 265.
Yeah, he cuts 265, and they said that the next day, most times he puts on just from dehydration. Someone said like 15. Like I
believe that. Yeah,
all of it comes back, but they want to fight because they know there's money there and people want to see it, and there's not. So the company that bought UFC is hurting. They're hurting because they bought it for $4 billion. They don't really have a lot of draws. Like it's a weird time period. Ronda isn't fighting. She's retired, not retired. She wants to have kids. She's not fighting. Conor's in his own world, doing his thing.
Yeah.
Then they have Jones. And they don't really have a whole lot after that. So.
The fight game's entirely different than wrestling or anything like that. And some guys have parlayed long careers out of it. It is very rare, though, when you really think about it. Like, you look at Ronda, it's a few-year span, like, if you're lucky with that. Because, I mean, one fight, you could be done. It's really – that's the one thing, and I've heard, like, Stephanie McMahon, and I don't know if Hunter, but I remember Stephanie seeing something with her talking about – that's the difference with like pro wrestling and how they could kind of it's a different thing where you could build characters and have people invested on a different level. Where fighting, if you have a couple bad outings, it's tough.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's
so many people coming up, and they're tough.
You need momentum. Like you really need to build win after win after win, and if you have some bad encounters, you're forgotten about, no matter who you are.
Conor, and too, and I think if Conor with like that whole Diaz fight, had he had another bad outing and something happened, and then maybe he gets another chance and it's another bad outing, where's he at? You don't know, but he recovered beautifully and he had it. You know what? It's just it's one of those. that doesn't always happen. It's like Ronda. She had the bad outing, and then it was another bad outing. Now it's possibly done. It's a mentally. It's all the respect in the world to those people. It's incredible what they do. And the training's a whole other thing.
Dana White even said he wouldn't want Ronda to come back. I think just out of her own kind of mental state, if she were to lose again, she doesn't take things very well. Who would? It's not an easy thing to recover from. I can imagine it's a whole other world. So what I was saying with this is that the company that bought UFC, they're, on the fights that a Brock was on or Connor was on, they kill it. But on these other ones, they don't so much, and they can't. They're making money, but they're not making the money that they need to justify the cost they bought the company for. So what I thought was really interesting, I believe his name was Nick Brennan. I think he used to be an announcer for WWE. But
yeah, I like Brennan, the Rich Brennan, right?
Rich Brennan, Rich Brennan.
Very nice guy. I like him a lot.
So he put out this sort of theory, but a lot of people have been talking about different things. Could WWE ever really be for sale? Because there's been speculation that WME IMG, which is a company I think that bought UFC, has expressed interest in purchasing WWE, and they have the money for a UFC at $4 billion. But the weird thing is, at this time period, there seems to be a weird crossover. Ronda was at, the Mae Young Classic. Jones and Lesnar, even though Lesnar is under contract. I know he goes back and forth. And the Becky and Cyborg thing this week, there's been this weird, is there cross promotion? Is there something to this rumor? I don't know. But I wonder. I think stuff could happen. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. The only thing we talked a little bit before the show, and when we were kind of going over everything, and I just mentioned, I feel like UFC understands though now that and you're going to have the purist, and they want to just see the straight up fights, and it's almost like I go back to the WCW when they had the 3-hour shows and they had a little bit of everything on it. That if you can create a card with a little bit of everything on it, where you have your the fights for the purists, but then you have those special attraction matches. When
they would have Ray versus Eddie, where the wrestling fans would go crazy, and they had Hogan versus whoever at the ends, where the mainstream people,
where because what you do when you do that is you increase your buy rates because you're appealing to more people, you're expanding your audience, and I think they are evolving, and I think they're going to see that. Just having a fight with Jones and Lesnar, where there's this guy has 40 or 50 pounds on this other guy. Who wins? That's the story. It's the stories. It's
appealing.
And the thing is, it's stories paying off with real fights. So it appeals to that older audience again. You know what I mean? I feel great. So I think it's great. I think they're learning as they go, and they'll find ways to keep making money. And it's not sacrificing the sport and having it just be a sideshow or anything like that by any means. But it's appealing to all audiences. The more people you appeal to, the more money you make. And I think if they continue to do that, and it's good. It's a good thing.
Well, the big issue was with Dana. Dana was very guarded, but Dana's kind of known for saying things and then retracting them later, kind of. I mean, saying that women would never fight in the UFC, or
times change though, and he's a human being. I mean, you could say something, and 3 years from now you might feel different about the subject. So
yeah, I guess I can say that, but he is known for but it's a hard position. You're not going to have all the answers.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think they're at a tough spot because they've made their name off these they're all legitimate fights, obviously, but the whole ranking system and things have got away from that, where they're realizing the money is in these super fights. They try to get GSP. They're trying to get more eyes on the product, because what they're doing isn't necessarily working, because they're at a lack of stars until someone emerges, which I think will eventually be Cody Garbrandt or Joanna. I truly think that. But till then, how the fuck are they going to sell pay-per-views? DC was champion for how long, and wasn't necessarily bringing in this huge amount of interest that happens. So it's clearly it's interesting. And
personality plays a big part, and that DC seems like a very mellow, mild-mannered guy as far as he's. And I don't want to say he's not a promo guy, but he's just he's not Conor McGregor. Conor is not afraid to speak his mind and say things, which when you are very outlandish like that and speak very confidently and believe in yourself, you attract a lot of like and a lot of hate. And whereas if he's more of a mellow guy, it doesn't necessarily equate to more ratings and whatnot.
There's one, the Diaz brothers don't really say a whole lot. They hate interviews.
They just beat the shit out of you.
But they give you the finger, and they're a total different. The dynamic between Conor and Diaz is great. But I'm
those
just wondering
guys. I remember watching that with Tyson and Kevin Matthews. That was great. Those were two badasses just beating the shit out of each other. That was something cool to see.
So it'll be interesting to see. But I'm just wondering with all this Cyborg calling out Becky, it was just
what's the deal with that? What's the deal with that? Like, I'm not really.
I didn't see all the tweets, but Cyborg is really aggressive with like the whole "Hey, I want a match at SummerSlam," and she just won the title for I don't know the weight class.
Was that her first UFC fight?
First or second? I'm not sure. It might have been the first. Forgive me, guys. I'm not an MMA. I watch a lot, but I don't know it completely. Same thing with wrestling. I just check out. I know she won, but
yeah,
she, it's an interesting thing going on. I just wonder if there's any. I don't know. I think it could be great cross promotion for everyone involved. But I don't know. I'm just interested.
That was for her to have a WWE match at SummerSlam. You said. How does that now? Just asking you this, you bring that up. How does that benefit UFC necessarily? To have their big star go over into that world. I don't know.
I don't know if, to me, I'm just wondering if WME, the company that bought UFC that owns it, IMG, whatever, I wonder if they're looking at WWE like a product that's been consistent over the years, even though they've had ups and downs, where UFC went from this period of booming and this last year or so has been a little tough. So I wonder if they're kind of trying to. And the fact that here's an issue that comes up. They don't know what to do with Punk, where they have the legitimacy of the sport, where his buy rate did very well. People, I think the number was around 350,000 buys. That's what I think was out there. His fight did but he lost his first fight, and he's never had a fight before. It didn't sound like, and Dana's openly said, I don't think he should fight on UFC exactly, or at least not on the bigger cards. And meanwhile, I'm sure that the parent company, IMG, is going, well, we need this money back. Maybe he should try again. They don't know. And it just seems like they don't know where to want to fully, do we go the super card route? Do we go towards keeping it legitimate? I don't know.
I think it is legitimate still. It's a real fight. It's appealing. You got to take in. Again, it's appealing to all audiences, and he has his huge following. Why not? Because you can create, will this be CM Punk's last fight? Create a story and then pay it off with a real fight. Everybody wins. It's not sacrificing the sport. Sure, you can say, well, there's a guy that's much more deserving of that spot. Well, but this guy's going to bring in the numbers. This might be his only other fight he has. Who knows? But create stories. Stories what sells, and pay it off with the real fight.
They're also at a point, too, where Bellator is right on their heels. I know there's a massive difference, but if he doesn't fight there, he'll appear there. And it gets guaranteed. You
were saying that. Do you think that's a thing then? I'm not as in tune with all that, so.
100%. If he's not going to fight, he's going to fight again, 1,000,000%. If UFC doesn't have it, he'll go, okay. And he'll go right to Bellator, and that'll be that. I guarantee that.
They like the special attraction matches, right?
They are all about. I mean, look at what they had. Their highest rated things was Kimbo versus Shamrock. Their Hoist versus Shamrock. They had the Chael and Tito. They're all about. They're about entertainment. They've openly said that they're about entertainment. They're not out for who's the best fighter in the world. They are about what will make people watch.
Yeah.
This, it's all legitimate fights, but this is how we're doing that. They're much different, and I think they're smart for doing that because it gets the ratings.
What does Punk fight at? What was the fighting weight that he fought at?
I believe he was walking around at like 190, but I think the weight class is 175. I think.
Fuck, he fights at 175.
I think he cut to 175 against Mickey Gall.
Ryback loses 100 pounds. Follow the journey for the big Bellator fight, Ryback versus CM Punk at 175 to see just one big human vein versus CM Punk. Do you think I could lose 100 pounds?
I'm pretty.
I
think you guys would have to meet in the middle. That would be tough. I mean,
well, fuck, meet in the middle. Do you think he's gonna fucking get to like 240, 250? He's never been that
like
heavy. That's fucking fat CM Punk versus fucking skinny Ryback.
I don't know, but that would be. What's more interesting, you guys fighting or another, person who's never fought before? I think that would be a.
No, that's what I'm. It's whatever sells. That is, and people are the ones that create that interest and whatnot in that. So you never know. And today, it's everything is about money though these days, and that's
sure.
Rightfully so. These people have a lot of money on the line for this promotion and the different promotions. So I think it's cool. I'm excited to see. I would like to see Punk fight again, and even though I don't agree with everything and whatnot. It takes a lot of courage to do that and to follow through with it. And it didn't go his way the first time, so I'm sure he's been training his ass off, and it'd be interesting. I think a lot of people would pay to see how he's progressed, for his second fight. And I don't know. And it's all about finding the right matchups and creating interesting matchups and what people want to pay to see. So I wish him the best.
And another fighter is coming back to the ring. Terry Funk is returning to the ring. I just saw this pop up before for Big Time Wrestling in South Carolina, I believe. I think it's next month.
I like when you surprise me with stuff. I don't know how Dory. Is he still going too?
I'm pretty sure Dory never retired. Terry's retired about 14 times, but Dory has still taking bookings, I believe.
You want to know how you get him to finally retire?
How?
You book him against the big guy, Ryback.
Wait, Dory or Terry?
Both. 2-on-1 handicap match. Fucking double shell shock, all done. Not because of anything, just because I'm so goddamn horrible, right, guys? Huh?
Not many people know this. I don't know if I talked about this. So my show, I had WrestleMania weekends. The original option that we were trying for was supposed to be Terry Funk versus Cody. And Terry was just having, I think, health issues, and it wasn't the right time. So
of course, Patty's an old man.
I know. Last time I saw him was House of Hardcore in December, and he was had a hard time getting in the ring. I think a hard time controlling his. He had like hernia surgery or something, and
that sucks. Yeah, not a pleasant thing.
But he's coming back. So crazy old man Terry Funk is back.
Wow, that's I don't know what to say to that. I wish him the best though. That's how old is he now? Do you have an exact age on him or?
God, it's got to be. He's got to be over 70. Has to be. I should really do my research. Damn it.
I feel like saying I hope to God I don't have to wrestle at 70. But with everything in stem cells, I'll probably be 85 and fucking trying to still go.
73.
Wow. What is Vince? Is Vince 70 or 71 now?
I think he's turning 72. I believe his birthday is in August. Why do I know that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, August what?
Let's look the old Google machine.
My mom's August 8th. I'm curious. Now that
I think he's later in the month.
Okay.
August 24th. He'll be turning 72.
Wow. That's a hell of a run.
Yeah.
That's good. And I'm happy. Man. He looks great too. I saw the photos of him that have surfaced lately. He looks fucking phenomenal. So,
to be honest with you, I really don't have that much more wrestling news. In fact, I don't have any. I don't know if you do this week.
I took a few notes here because I know you were telling me you've had a really, really busy week, and I don't like looking at dirt sheet stuff. I try to avoid all of that. But you sometimes, for the sake of the podcast, I have to be a fucking mark, and I have to snoop around. The only things I have, it was the Chris Jericho fan altercation that I saw a little thing on, and the Roman Enzo bus incident. So I don't know if you want to talk about either of those.
I don't know a whole lot about that.
I saw about them, and I'll act like
I'll just pretend that I came up with it.
Yeah, can you just act like you came up with those? Just
apparently, Chris Jericho had some sort of incident. Do you know about this?
Really?
Yeah, apparently,
guys, for acting gigs, please book the big guy at yahoo.com or Nick Marchetti. He's doing all my acting stuff. If you want to book me in any upcoming TV or movie things.
Apparently, I saw something with Jericho. The fan got, lippy with him, something like that. I really didn't pay attention to it, to be honest with you.
It was something, it was a non-wrestling appearance, I think, and it sucks. I think Chris is a great human being. I like Chris a lot, and I told you when I saw that it's amazing sometimes you'll have fans that love you or claim they love you, and they'll catch you at a time when you're at the gym working out and you're in the middle of a set, or you're at the airport, or you've just traveled 15 hours or 12 hours, and you'll just simply say no thank you because there's other people there and it's just going to trigger more people and whatnot. And I feel like because I've seen it where I've said no thank you. That was always my line, no thank you, because we are allowed to say no. But people become crazy. And some people understand, and then you have others that completely flip their shit. And just for me, and when I'm hearing this story of the fan getting all pissed off at Chris, because apparently the story is he was signing autographs and probably had somewhere to be or something to do, and there were more than one person out there, and he eventually said no, and then somebody flipped their fucking shit. And I've seen it more than one time where it's I love you to fuck you, Goldberg, you fucking steroid abuser. In which one guy in Miami airport had the photo album of cards of many trading cards, and I said no, thank you, man. In which he followed me and kept asking repeatedly, and then it flipped from asking to when he realized I wasn't going to do it to you're a fucking steroid, you're a fucking piece of shit, fuck you, all the way out to my taxi cab, just repeatedly screaming as loud as he could.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like a psycho. And then later that night I saw all the social media stuff and making up shit about me, and it was block and goodbye. And so when I saw that, it just reminded me of that. Like, there's people out there that you say no or no thank you, and they feel like it's, how big of a fan are they really if they like that, you know what I mean? So because Chris is a great guy and a great human being, and I've had nothing but positive encounters with him. So
What was the other thing? Something about a bus?
Did you hear anything on the Roman Enzo deal on the bus? Because I know there's been
a lot of stuff on Enzo lately saying, the narrative that they're giving him online is that he's apparently the way he appears to be 24 hours a day, and it may rub people the wrong way.
Yeah, no, I've met Enzo. He's definitely calmer than he is when he's out there backstage and everything like that. So I don't. All I know is that Roman's a pretty chill guy, and on those buses. But I think sometimes it's easy to just run with something on those tours, especially early on in your career. They encourage you to drink and to have fun, and not they. It's an option. Nobody forces you to do anything there anymore. But there's a lot of alcohol typically available because there's a lot of guys and girls, and it's a long fucking 2 weeks usually. And I've posted the picture of me with the trash bag full of beers, which Roman's in the background of that. He kind of just chills out on the back of the bus and does his thing, and I would suspect probably too much alcohol was drank, and it was nothing more than that. But he probably had to have done something to get kicked off more, but it's not a big deal. Like it happened. Sure. It happened when I was there with other people, But people will take something and blow it up out of proportion. And Enzo, I've met him many times. He's a cool guy. He's a great guy. So
yeah, he sent a dude to my school. This really jacked up dude came walking in one time, and he's like, "Hey, Enzo sent me here." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, Enzo's my good friend, and he said I have to go to you to get trained before." He had like an NXT tryout coming up.
Yeah,
and he said you're the guy to speak to, and you're the guy I should be training with. I said, "Yeah, sure." And the guy did 2 classes and never came back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, right. I'm telling you, when people experience the blowing up part of wrestling. That's the thing that the quote
and the
unquote
bumps,
fucking marks.
The bumps too.
Oh, the bumps, absolutely. That first bump you take when you rock your head and when you feel that and let your body just gets used to it and you got to learn to tuck your head, it will change your world. And that's why I always say the people, you could tell the ones that on social media that just have no clue about any of it. Like they don't. It's like, guys, have you ever experienced losing your breath and not being like, you don't understand the level of conditioning and just what everyone deals with on a day in and day out basis. So it's a whole other world.
You know who just started wrestling training?
I don't. Who?
My little brother.
Eric?
Yeah, he joined the school.
No way.
He was just looking. He's always liked it. He's never been into it like I have been. He's more of like a music guy. But he lives in the city, so I'm like, hey, do you want to come down and train? And he's doing it, but he overdid it. So I haven't really taught him how to bump that well yet. Like he's done a couple, but so I was doing a legit like bump and feed drill, and we get froggy sometimes. So the whole drill was just you slide into the ring, duck a guy's clothesline, and you keep bumping and feeding until you don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
And then when you're done, you feed to the ropes, have them shoot you off, and you take a move. Maybe
wait,
take a hip
so does
toss.
this turn into a competition who could take the most bump and feeds?
Yes.
What's the
It does.
record? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, fuck.
I love this already.
I think there was one time I did it, and I did 19. That was, yeah.
I was expecting a higher number.
No, fuck, no, it hurts, man.
On a bump and feed?
Yeah.
I did a fucking 10 bump and feed backdrop in OVW my last match before I was fired in developmental.
Was I in that match?
You probably were my partner against Cody and Spears.
It was 10 backdrops.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
Al told me, he goes, hey, there's no way you could do it. And I just did it just to fucking prove him wrong. And then I got fired fucking 2 days later.
I think that's a lot. I was dying after.
What were the bumps? Clotheslines?
Yeah, just clotheslines, back elbows, whatever. Just as fast as you can. And then when you're done, just feed toward the ropes, take one more and you're out. But I don't remember what was done that day.
I would like to show up to one of your classes one of these days.
I don't know if that's a lot of bump and feeds, man. I don't know. So my brother, anyway, he's online. And all the guys go, and then I see him about to slide in. I'm like, oh, shit, he can't handle this drill. I'm like, he's too new for this. And he goes in there, and he starts bumping around. And he's so I don't know if he's rocking his head. I'm like, but I can't stop him because I'm like, he's my brother. He can't, like, you know, I can't be like, no, get out of there. I'm like, he wanted to do it. Let me see how he does it. And he did about 6 bumps maybe. And I could just tell he was rocked. And I see him kind of walk away. I'm like, all right, he's going to throw up. And he did. He walked away and he lost his lunch. He puked. And I was like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. And gave him some gum and he cleaned up and came back to wrestle. But
wow.
Yeah, he's 30 years old. He's just starting it out.
Nothing wrong with that. I think that's cool. You look happy about it. I think it's cool. I think
he's doing like a hobby, you know, total hobby. He's got a good job. He's just like, I want to learn this.
He'll have a new appreciation for it.
And he'll get hired because he's a lot taller than me. So
no, you'll be hired for NXT. He'll be hired and as the worker, and you'll have to teach him down there too. No, that's cool. Good job, Eric. I'm proud of him. That's awesome, man.
So, where do we go from here? Do we go to reviews or
I think
tips of the week and then forget?
yeah, forget the tips of the week again. I have to do a separate read for him, but we'll go ahead. We'll take another break and we'll come back and we'll do reviews and head into our main event of the night. We'll be right back, guys.
Hey, everyone. In addition to being the co-host of this podcast, I'm the founder and promoter of WrestlePro.
Dare I say, WrestlePro puts on the best professional wrestling live events in the country. We're also fully insured and licensed. Now, if you're listening to the show, then you clearly love professional wrestling, and I appreciate that. But I also have a question for you. Would you like professional wrestling in your area, maybe in your hometown, your high school, your college, your civic center, your stadium? Whatever you want. If you're a civic group, a sports team, a fire department, a police department, if you have a corporate event, a festival, any group that is looking to raise funds or put on an entertaining show, WrestlePro is your promotion. This is not your regular wrestling show. Just in the last year, WrestlePro has brought in incredible talent such as Terry Funk, DDP, Booker T, Ryback, Cody Rhodes, Hornswoggle, Colt Cabana, Brian Cage, Jeff Jarrett, Tommy Dreamer, the Hardy Boys, Scott Steiner, and much, much more. Even the Nature Boy Ric Flair has been with WrestlePro and loves it. Tell him, Naitch.
It's the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair, WrestlePro, the Nature Boy, signing autographs. Look as only you can look. WrestlePro, be there. Woo, 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 woo. Limousine riding, jet flying. Woo! WrestlePro. Woo!
If you're seriously interested, WrestlePro can bring a live wrestling show to your town. A full professional wrestling card complete with talent, 8 matches, sound system, lighting, the works. We design the artwork and posters. We help you sell the tickets. We push all of our events all over our social media. We believe in good repeat business. Packages and prices vary on talent requested and their availability. For more information, contact me directly at WrestleProOnline@yahoo.com or simply check out www.WrestleProOnline.com and you can see our past and upcoming events to get a taste of what WrestlePro is all about. I hope to hear from you soon. Do you enjoy a crisp, refreshing soft drink but hate choosing between the empty calories and the artificial sweeteners? Well, now you don't have to, thanks to Zevia. With Zevia, you don't have to worry about any potential harmful side effects since they have no caramel coloring and use the natural plant-based sweetener stevia. Zevia offers 14 different flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling wine, and 4 different energy drinks. That gives you a ton of safer and delicious options for you to enjoy. It's the safest soft drink on the market, made with ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. There's nothing artificial in any of their products, and there isn't any calories either. It's a miracle. Now, Zevia is giving our fans a chance to try it yourselves for free. If you live in the U.S. or Canada, just head over to Zevia.com/podcast and sign up. They'll mail you a coupon to try a free 6-pack just like that. Go to Zevia.com/podcast now and get your free Zevia. Enjoy the show.
The following advertisement has been paid for by the big guy Ryback. Are you hungry? You know I'm so hungry, big guy. Hey, Mark, what brings you here? So I'm just here to hang out with my all-time favorite superstar of all time. What brings you here? Well, I'm doing a paid advertisement for Feed Me More Nutrition, available at feedmemore.com. Big guy, that is music to my ears. Did you tell the people about your Ice So Hungry grass-fed whey protein isolate, the best tasting protein on the market? Wake Up Unlimited Energy, the strongest pre-workout on the market, and the big guy, all-natural testosterone booster, my personal fave. Big guy, you're on to something with this Feed Me More Nutrition. It is some top quality stuff. Well, thank you, Mark, it is. Feed Me More Nutrition, premium, quality, the highest quality supplements on the market today. Available now at feedmemore.com. But wait, there's more. Just for being a listener of Conversation with the Big Guy, you can now save 10%. That's right, save 10% at feedmemore.com on all Feed Me More merchandise and apparel and Feed Me More Nutrition with discount code PODCAST10. 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 Thank you, guys. All right. We're back.
We're back. It's about that time to do a little reviews.
Reviews of the week. What do we got this week, Buckster? We have we got some friendly domestic reviews.
I believe they are all domestic.
There's a reason why you're my best friend.
Here we go. I'm a Rybacker from D Stanley 0789. This is the only podcast I would take time to leave a review. I listen while working and cannot wait for Mondays. Just to listen for a couple hours, help my day go by. I don't care about winning a supplement right now. People love putting that in there.
And I'm not going to lie, Pat. I like to hear it. You guys know how to make the big guy happy.
I am taking the big guy's advice and making life changes to myself. I do use Wake Up Unlimited Energy in the mornings instead of coffee all day.
Fuck yeah.
And if I could rate it, I'd give it 5 stars also. Thank you, guys. Can't wait for next week's episode.
And in all seriousness, if you purchased it on Amazon, guys, please, the reviews greatly help. And again, just mentioning that if you buy the Feed Me More Nutrition or anything on Amazon, to please leave hopefully positive reviews. It greatly helps the cause and helps me show up better in the searches on Amazon. So hell of a review. For many different reasons, but thank you very much.
You know, I saw something interesting. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, about someone tweeted at me or something that it'd be a great idea to market the pre-workout towards gamers.
Yeah.
Because
I've talked about this with a couple people before, actually.
That there's not really, I don't know if there is a product that, you know, with the focus and the energy and the amount that they play, and it's just like a mental thing that would be a big hit amongst the video game community. And I was like, wow, back when I used to play, that would be very effective. I never thought about taking pre-workouts.
It's not
sit and play.
It's pre-workout for fitness people. It's / energy supplement. Absolutely, 100%. I think even so, like the people, the stuff is amazing. And that's not me tooting my own horn. It truly, most people have to take half a scoop. Most people can't take the full scoop. They have to find their happy dose. It works. We market it as a pre-workout because it's marketed towards fitness. It can be used by anybody, which I've talked about replacing your morning coffee because there's the different focus ingredients in there and just the ginsengs and the yohimbine that give you the longer lasting energy without the crash. That would be, absolutely. I agree with you. I don't know how. I've thought about that and I've talked about it with people. I don't know how to necessarily market towards gamers. I don't know that. I think doing YouTube videos and whatnot are going to be my biggest asset moving forward with all that. And that's something actually, which that's a YouTube video right there. But I think, that's a great point.
Xavier Woods. Go play a video game on the...
Yo, Xavier, if you want to help out your boy Ryback, I'll send you a text and ask you. He's doing amazing with everything he's got going on with his YouTube channel, and I've been on his show actually before, so he owes me. No, I'm kidding, but anybody could use it. That's because video gamers play, like, they stay up all night, right?
All night. Like, so, I mean, I know people that'll get a game, and certain games you can build. It depends on the game, but if you can beat it within 24 hours, they'll stay up for that time period.
And those guys
to beat this game.
I tell you, if I take Wake Up Unlimited Energy after 3 o'clock, I'm up all night. Like it's great point, guys. If you play video games and you avoid reality constantly, Wake Up Unlimited Energy. That's what you need.
Second review from an actual CWTBG listener.
CWTBG.
CWTBG. There we go. After so much recent backlash towards Ryback and Buck, I felt the duty to finally get around to creating an iTunes account just to leave a review. Some background here. I stopped watching wrestling until late 2015, and by this time the big guy was on his way out, so I never really got around to seeing his full run in WWE. Everything I knew about him was from the negative podcast stuff with Punk. However, due to slowly listening to this podcast here and there, I can't go a Monday without it. It's simply just two wrestlers shooting the breeze, having a conversation. It's good insight into WWE, life outside of WWE, trials and tribulations that Pat Buck experiences as a wrestling trainer promoter. Even my wife enjoys the show. Maybe she's part of that 3.1% demographic.
Absolutely.
Keep up the great work, guys. Don't let the negativity affect you. Keep murking the marks. P.S. I hope Ryback can come to a show here in Southern Cali. Please book it, Buck.
I would love to go back to Cali. I know Brian Cage actually messaged me here about doing a show in Oceanside where my supplement manufacturer is in Oceanside. So I would have 2 reasons to go down there because I need to make another trip down there anyways. So that would be cool. I would love to. I actually, one of my goals is to be able to get a house near San Diego Oceanside eventually.
Okay.
Or a place, not necessarily a house, maybe a condo or a townhouse or something. That and then the Miami area. I want to.
Really?
Yeah. I love, like, not necessarily, maybe Boca Raton, maybe right by Vince, and do joint training sessions with me, Vince, and Kenny Thiessen, and
hang out at the pool, push each other in.
Just a couple of old dudes just shoving each other in the fucking pool. I got you, Vinny. No, but that's one of my goals. Actually, I would like just to be able to have options to move around. And I love Las Vegas, but just have a place here, place there, just to get away from time to time. But that's a good review. I like hearing. It's nice when somebody they hear negative things and then they do their homework and then they are able to realize that, oh, this shit is bullshit that I've been reading all this time. So with that said, I'm probably going to go with choice number 1 for my own personal reasons.
Would that reason happen to be that he does not want a supplement?
Wait, why would you even say that?
Because it says in the review, I do not care about winning a supplement right now.
That wasn't the reason why I picked him, though. He had a very positive review, Pat. He seems like a great guy. I mean, the fact that he doesn't want something, yeah, sure, it's nice to hear that, but that's not what makes me decide my winners and my losers on this show. Both of them are winners in my book, but just the first one really, really touched me. What's his name?
D. Stanley 0789. You're the winner.
So go ahead and email the big guy at feedmemore.com, and if you just want to say hi, you don't want any supplements or anything, so you don't need to go ahead and put any of that in there. You just say hi, I'll respond back, and we'll shoot the shit a little bit, buddy. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for your reviews. Fuck.
No wonder there hasn't been that many reviews. Fuck.
Well, Pat, that's really disheartening to hear you come at me like that. I told you, I read on one of the YouTube things. It was on one of the Ryback shoots thing. I couldn't help myself. I was like, I gotta look at this one because it was over something really ridiculous over the shoot thing, and they were bashing you. And Pat Buck is a slimy piece of shit. He doesn't. He just agrees with Ryback on everything. And the first thing that went through my mind is, yeah, because I'm fucking right all the time.
Exactly.
Oh, no. God. But
thanks.
Thank you guys very much. If you do want supplements, let me know. Or something from the website, go ahead and shoot it over, and I'd be more than happy to accommodate you on that.
Well, last week we had tips of the week, and then you totally forgot tips of the week. So I think it's about that time.
Tips of the week. Sorry, I'm watching SmackDown. I think John Cena just fucking died in the ring in front of me.
That did look rough, man. I think that's a tough move to have. I don't know. Anything with flipping someone backwards.
Backflips are, you got to be able
for everybody.
You got to, because unless you're comfortable, I told you I had to go learn how to do backflips at the trampoline park. Mm-hmm. And then I got the tumbler in my backyard. You have to learn to kick your knees up towards your head. If you're not comfortable doing that, it's not easy to learn. Maybe for some people. I learned it in about 45 minutes of doing it over and over again. And it's still, like, I haven't done it in a while. I'd have to go back and probably do another 30 minutes. And but some people learn to go backwards as a kid, and then you never have to really learn it again. I never learned. I always did front flips as a kid. I just never did back flips. I never even crossed my mind. It was something. So unless you've been doing backflips all your life, they just replayed it. Jesus, he landed right on his fucking neck. That's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. Incredible. Do they finish the match? Do you know or no?
He got up from that. It was one more move and that was it. He hit him with the old knee, but you could see he's rocked and the refs they're doing the hand squeeze thing.
That's on him, right? Because that's him having to kick him. I mean, Nakamura throws him over and he has to kick his legs back to take the front bump, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of have to. I always look back on weird things like that, but it's not a comfortable thing for every guy.
No,
so
that's what I'm saying. Not at all. It's not easy doing backflips. I don't think John's ever done one backflip in a match that I can recall. Right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, I honestly hope he's all right, though. In all seriousness, although everyone likes to fucking, because I've had my issues. Obviously, by the way, and I've always put him over in the ring time and time again. So, but you never want to see anybody get hurt. That's fucking brutal. I'm watching it again. They keep showing it. Jesus. Pat, I'm telling you right now, that is fucking... Oof.
Yeah.
They showed it 4 fucking times. That's... I hope he's all right, though, in all seriousness. That's bad. But, yeah, let's go to tips of the week. Tips of the week. Yay! All right, guys. Match of the week this week here. Chris Hero versus Is it Shiozaki, Pat?
I don't want to mispronounce the name. I've saw tweets on that making fun of us for not saying the names correctly, so yeah, I'm going to skip that one.
Okay, I'll say it incorrectly. Go Shiozaki. If it is... Jesus. Everyone will try to fucking correct you on anything. It's a fucking great match. I really enjoyed that. That was for Noah. Book of the week this week, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One, by Joe Dispenza. Michael's actually recommended With Iron Attitude, makes phenomenal weight belts, makes all my big guy weight belts. Was the one that recommended that book. I'm very early on into it. I'm probably going to finish it on my trip over to Australia between all the different the airport breaks and then the long flight. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. Quote of the week this week is, life itself is your teacher, and you are in a state of constant learning, by Bruce Lee. And just constantly try to just read and listen to audiobooks and just educate your mind, inform your own opinions on things, and don't just necessarily do what you're told. Nutrition advice this week. Adding 2 protein shakes a day into your diet is a great way to increase your protein without the carbs and fat. People on the go who overeat, just switching out a couple meals a day with a shake will make a huge difference. I typically go for 2 to 3 protein shakes a day because rather than eating meat all the time or chicken all the time, putting 2 or 3 scoops of protein for me, for my body weight, it might be 1 to 2 scoops for you, is a great way to supplement your diet and get extra protein in there and help you make a positive change with your body going forward. Fitness workout tip of the week. Have you heard of a therapy cane, Pat?
No, I don't think so.
Did you see the one I had here? I have it on my bar, actually, because I use it. I usually kept it in my gym, but I brought it in the house because I like to use it so often. It's called, essentially, if you Google it or put it on Amazon, Trigger Point Release Tool. Different ones will come up. A therapy cane is another name for it. It's like a back and neck massager, but it's great for your scapula area. A lot of men and women have trigger points in their scapula and the back of their neck.
That's where all my pain is, that under the shoulder blade kind of thing.
I want you, Trigger Point Release Tool. Put it in Amazon after this. They're very affordable, and they're a device where you literally grab it and you could dig into those spots that you can't get on your own. You could adjust the pressure by how hard you move the device. And I tell you, I get it in spots where I find a knot, and you hold it, my head will go numb just holding it, and then after a minute it goes away because it breaks up that tissue. Check it out though; it's great for your back, your neck, your scapular region. It's something I've used regularly. WWE has them at the training and NXT school and on the road all the time for guys. It's just a great way to work on your body and to help get rid of little sore points that you necessarily can't get on your own. So that's the tips of the week this week, guys.
Okay. And with that, we'll segue right to the main event, I think, because it was fitness related.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following segment is your main event of the podcast.
As my good friend Stone Cold Steve Austin would say, oh, hell yeah! Awkward silence.
Fitness questions.
I like it when
First
you don't
one.
even respond to me. That's the best. Eddie, can we edit that out again? Like I told you the first time that you did it.
Leave it in. Christopher Vincent, Nos Nivnaman on Twitter. For fitness, how do you deal with loose skin after losing weight?
So that's something, just in my opinion and things that I've heard, is coconut oil and vitamin E, I think, are 2 things that will help you greatly, rubbing that on your skin. I think maybe...
Really?
Yeah, using a little bit of olive oil in your diet with your food. But vitamin E and coconut oil, I think a combination of the 2 would work wonders.
So you actually put it on your skin, coconut oil?
Yeah. Oh,
really?
It's great for you. It is coconut oil. I'm telling you, even though you'll hear there's negative things on it. It's you can't get a fucking straight answer on anything anymore. I've had nothing but positive things with coconut oil and with from brain stuff to thyroid stuff, and seeing the blood test results of it working its magic. And it's another thing. It works. It's great for your skin too. Yes. That and vitamin E.
From Michael White. Boy, he never asks questions on Twitter. Mike I. Whites.
Very, very faithful Rybucker.
Only 6 questions today. Mark Henry is the world's strongest man. Are you stronger than him? That's not really fitness.
Is that yeah, that's not, I don't know how to answer that. So Mark is still incredibly strong. He's naturally just a gifted human being. He's one of those, from everything I understand about Mark, is he's never done steroids or anything of that nature. And I know he's very adamant about that, of that, and where a lot of those guys in that sport are. So, which just makes him even all the more special. But wrestling, right now, he's not the world's strongest man, because he's obviously he's past his prime and whatnot. Wrestling destroys your body over time, and I think it's incredible the career he's parlayed with doing that and being so successful at that at such a high level, and not doing the drugs to do it, because a lot of those guys do. He's truly an incredible human being. So he's, as far as the Olympic lifts and all that, he was superior to me at all that. I'm really good at doing endurance with heavy weight. That's always been that not a lot of people can do. I'm really good at that area. I'm always really strong, but he's a whole other level, and I wouldn't even put myself in the same league as him.
Follow-up question, what do you feel about veggie protein powder?
Again, it's different strokes for different folks. And I just watched a documentary on Netflix it was, again, the plant-based diet and how meat and chicken and all that is so bad for you. And again, there's good articles and bad articles on it. And there's people that say, no, our ancestors, that's all they ate, and this and that. And we'll know that's why they died so young. And I think balance, again, is key with anything. If you're a vegan and it fits into your diet, I'm cool with that. And I know, and when I was with Priscilla and everything, she would watch those Facebook videos of how they treat animals, and she would always tell me, she goes, I don't want to eat meat anymore, but she was so addicted to it. And I'd see her eating an In-N-Out burger, 2 days later. I go, I thought you were done eating meat. And it's tough once you've had it. But that's a whole other subject of how they treat the animals and whatnot. And it's something you don't even want to think about, but it's a very real thing that happens. But everything I've read about the vegan diet is that they can get the same amount of protein and the amino acids with the foods they have now. I'm not going to lie. The Netflix thing I watched this week, I was interested in that. I was wondering if I could survive on a vegan diet.
Really?
There's things like beans and rice. So it would switch from a keto diet, because obviously you can't do the keto diet on that.
Yeah.
But with the different protein powders, with beans and rice and switching, I wonder how I would look on that and feel doing a plant and vegetable based diet. I'm not gonna lie, it crossed my mind. I'm not against trying it for a period to see, because you never know until you try something. Doing an experiment on that and either losing a lot of weight, or maybe I look the same and feel way better. I don't know. Because there's people saying that they have body aches, that the body aches go away from all that. Would you be interested in seeing me try that? You think I could pull it off?
I think you'll try it at one point. You'll probably really like it for a day. Maybe you'll stick with it, or I don't know, man.
It seems really hard on the road, I feel like, different places, but it would have to be a more carbohydrate-based diet, but it would be less fats.
Fats,
and I feel like I would adjust to it accordingly. Maybe for the big CM Punk fight where I lose 100 pounds, I go vegan.
There you go.
Ryback shoots on going vegan and fighting CM Punk losing 100 pounds. God.
The next question, Johnny Halta on Twitter, or Lay John D. Any tips to help feel fuller when cutting?
That's
Fiber.
tough because when you're cutting, you're cutting your carbohydrates and your calories.
What about fiber? Is that the same thing, or
Fiber is not necessary as far as feeling full. Like, is he talking about muscles or feeling full for diet? Like,
oh, I don't know. I think feel fuller. So I don't know. I don't know if he means muscles or he means like to not feel hungry.
The fair thing to do would be to address both, and in that to feel fuller while eating. The best thing you could do is go buy those big, huge bags of broccoli or buy a bunch of fresh broccoli or the cauliflower broccoli combo packs they have. And that salad, spinach, and you could use those liquid aminos or a very light dressing, something very minimal that's not going to affect your calories that you could put in there. Find some sort of, even if it's hot sauce, anything, whatever it is that your taste buds enjoy. But you can essentially eat as many greens as you want like that, and it's negative calories in your body. Where if you're on a very calorie restricted diet, I did it this week when I'm doing the keto. I was because I've been really, really honing in on my diet. I make a big bowl of broccoli and cauliflower, and I put potassium salt on it, a little of that spray butter, and a little bit of liquid aminos, and it was two bags of the broccoli and cauliflower, and I was
Wait, you put liquid. What is liquid aminos? You put that on food?
Liquid amino acids. It's a soy sauce alternative, and it's
really,
they have it at they have it at a lot of grocery stores now, and it's also at all like Whole Foods and the health food stores. But it's called liquid aminos, and it's a great asset to have if you diet. It gives you flavor. There's all sorts of things out there, guys, that you could put to flavor your foods without using different dressings and things. There's different seasonings. Flavor God has all these different seasonings, and there's different seasoning companies. Your grocery store has different seasonings that don't have calories in them that you could use to put on your food to spice it up to make it. It's like the pickle thing, telling people there's things out there you could munch on that will get you to go to bed where you'll wake up and you can start your day fresh, and you're not going to cave into those late night cravings. And in broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, there's low sodium green beans out there. Get fresh green beans. There's potassium salt that's not regular salt, that tastes like salt, that you could use. I'm telling you, it's very fulfilling, and you could eat essentially as much of them as you want, and it's not going to put on any weight. So, potassium
salt and liquid aminos. All right, that's next two things I'll legit buy from the store.
As far as muscle fullness, that if that is what he is talking about, that's tough because when you're really, really dieting and you get flat because you're essentially working towards a show or something, usually where you will have your carb days leading into the show. The only thing I can think of, like the Wake Up Unlimited Energy, there's different pump factors, like the 2 different arginines and L-citrulline, or just getting those supplements separately to help you with your pump when you work out. Things like that. But the Wake Up Unlimited Energy is really, really good for that. And it's plugging my own shit, but it does work for that. So.
All right. Next question from the Mizzo1 on Twitter. What do you think of the 7-minute workout or similar? I don't know what that is.
That just reminds me of there's something about Mary, or I forget. Fuck, maybe not. There's something about Mary, but Ben.
Is this like the 8-minute ab thing?
Yeah,
yeah.
He was like, "What do you think's better than 8-minute abs?" And Ben still, I don't know. 7-minute abs is fucking duh. Everything works and nothing works. I think if your diet's on point and you bust your ass in a 7-minute workout, no matter what it is, you can get results from it, especially if you're doing nothing. If you're at a different level and you're an advanced weight trainer and you switch to that 7-minute workout, maybe not so much. That's tough to say. You can make anything work, though, if you apply yourself and put the intensity into it. So if you're just starting out, not a bad thing. Consistency is the key, though. Doing it day in and day out, and you will get results. Just make sure your diet matches up with that.
Next question for both of us from Follow Nick Corms on Twitter. What are the best foods to eat when starting keto?
What do you think on that? What for you worked for you, Pat?
I actually just told someone about this. I felt like it was such a kind of a drastic change for me, where I felt good going to really high fat things right away. So like the next day, because I feel like I needed the motivation to go from like, I couldn't just go right to eggs and lean turkey sausage. So I went from eggs. Yeah. I went to like eggs to bacon next day. And then
bacon is the first thing that popped in my mind.
Yeah. Like switching to a high, almost as a mental, like, oh, I can eat this stuff though. And I can get this excess fat, and then slowly weaning down where now I'll have eggs and chicken sausage in the morning, or eggs and like turkey sausage, where it's much, much leaner. And because one of the wrestlers, Sean Donovan, actually, he was talking about it with me, and he's like, I'm doing keto, and he's I think he was going too strict. He's like, I'm just eating grilled chicken and vegetables. I'm like, you're gonna burn out and hate this.
Yeah.
Like, you need to, go to Moe's right now, get this, go to, and then start cutting back when you feel like your body's just used to all fats.
The key to keto is having your carb days. But what happens is people get fucking carb scared on it. And you can't get carb scared. You have to go all out on your carb days. Keep your fats low. You have to restore your glycogen stores. For me, the thing, and I don't do it anymore. I found actually at the Whole Foods, I take that back. But bacon and cheese were my two go-tos. That and green and black olives are very low carb, no carb, depending on the kinds that you get. And I would get green olives stuffed with feta cheese, and that would be a snack with pickles in between. But the bacon, I was getting the fattiest bacon in like the cheese, like cheddar cheese sticks. And to me, that satisfied me, even though that first few weeks are definitely going to be an adjustment. But you have to find foods that make you almost feel good at first. And then as you go, because you're going to lose water weight initially, and you're going to lose weight. And then when you hit that wall, then you start cutting the fats down. And you start switching. There's turkey bacon, or there's this other bacon at the Whole Foods that only has 20 grams of fat in the whole thing rather than 70. So you have to start making adjustments with your fat levels, and it's a gradual process, and you got to hold yourself accountable for start cutting out that fat. You don't go from 100 to nothing. It's a gradual process, and but I'm telling you, it works. And for me, I got to have 2 carb days a week, Pat. I have to.
Okay.
Otherwise, I burn
back to back or separate.
Separate, or I burn too much muscle. I especially when I do the hard burpees and everything, I'm burning myself at such a level essentially, and just going. You got to replace those glycogen stores. And in the keto, everyone's different. There's no right or wrong but don't be afraid of carbs, and it's not cheating eating cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets all day. It's having bowls of brown rice, wheat bread with low fats, different things. I do pita, these little low fat pita breads with low fat or non-fat cheese and pasta sauce, and I got to have a certain level of carbs, because I know if I don't, I start burning muscle tissue too fast. So,
have you seen the new ready-made pizzas that are about? I think they're about they're between 4 and 6 grams of carbs, and they're 25 grams of protein. Have you tried those yet? They're great.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So there's these new pizzas out. They're you can find them in some health food stores. The bigger ones are a little bit more, but the ones, I can't describe the shape of it. Maybe it reminds me of like a microwave Celeste pizza, if you know what that is. Like a smaller one.
Yeah, you're bringing back
maybe
good
a little bit.
That.
Yeah, a little bit tinier than that.
Keep going.
But so the crust is made from some sort of chicken based with Parmesan. So it's made of some sort of cheese. It's good. It's really, I've had them like, the only thing I want to say though, the fat on it is like, the total fat I think is 4 grams, but the saturated fat is like 6 or 8 grams. So I don't know if that's too.
But it's low carb. It fits into
low carb.
It fits into the keto diet.
Yeah, and they're good. They taste fucking good, dude.
Oh,
so
don't stop. Keep going. I'm so into this right now. Wait, you need to provide a name for this for us. You get things from me on the show. I just got something from you. I feel like, holy shit, this is going to change everything. I'm just going to be eating these goddamn pizzas all the time.
So this is one of the pizzas. It's this big. It's about the size. This is one of the normal bigger ones.
Wait, is he doing the thumbs up on the box?
He is, yes.
What's the wait? Real Good Pizza?
Real Good Pizza Company.
Real Good Pizza Company. Do you think that, man, they'd be a hell of a sponsor for this show?
So here's the nutrition. So it's two. Okay, serving size is 2 on this. Okay, so this pizza has 50 grams of protein, 8 carbs, 4 sugars, 32 grams of fat.
If you were to leave me alone with that pizza right now, the American pie scene would be reinvented with a pizza.
It's
Ryback burns his penis on pizza. I'm kidding, guys. It's just like everything. It's all just entertainment. Fuck, that's Pat. I'm going to order those. I bet I can order them on Amazon and have them delivered to my door.
Yeah, I ordered. I think a box of the. You buy them by packs of 5 or 10 or something.
You need to increase my bookings. I have a feeling my money output's going to be increased. There was one review on Amazon where they left a very good 5-star positive review. The guy, I believe it was a guy, he was having a negative reaction to taking the Wake Up Unlimited Energy. And I think he was taking it on an empty stomach.
Okay.
So everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. And whether it's natural or not, it's very powerful stuff. And he tried decreasing his dosage, but I have found if I take it on an empty stomach, the energy, it hits me way harder than when I take it on a full stomach. So for that, I always tell people, if you're very sensitive to different energy supplements and ingredients, that taking Wake Up Unlimited Energy after having a meal will help you process it better, essentially. Again, and it's not to say there might be a portion of people that maybe just can't take it, or that you have to take such a small amount to truly feel. And that's another thing I've said before, finding your magic dosage of it. Everybody's different. So, but definitely taking it with food can help if you're sensitive to taking energy supplements on an empty stomach. So that was something I wanted to address. So thank you for bringing that up.
From Not the Real Josh 2 on Twitter. Few tips for someone that is just getting back into the gym after 1 year of lazy time. I love the gym, but I gained the weight that I lost, and I always let myself down for stopping.
Again, it comes down to being consistent. That's something you'll hear all the greats, everybody that has had great success in the weight room and with diet. Consistency, and you got to build that momentum back up. And you're starting over again, and it's okay. You fall off the wagon. I fell off the wagon with the dip after being off of it for nearly 2 years, and I ran with it for a month, and I stopped, and I'm off it, and I'm fine. But I had to start over, and it's starting over that process, and it's the same way for you. And it's slowly building your confidence, and it's learning. It's taking the tips from the show, different things that you read, and you got to start over, man. And because if you don't, you're not going to change anything. So it's okay to fall off the wagon, man. Everybody does. We're all human. Everybody fucks up. Get back, set your goals, write your goals down. Buy a Feed Me More goal board. Write your goals down. Or buy a whiteboard at Walmart or Walgreens. I don't give a shit. Do something to remind yourself that and hang it up and hold yourself accountable and start living up to your full potential. And that's all I got on that.
All right, very cool. I just said would have joined, go join a spin class. I'm big on, if you don't like the gym, I think there's a lot of things I've been doing called Class Pass. My wife does it too, where you pay $50 on Groupon, and you can take all these different classes around town. So you can go do yoga. You can go do this, boot camp class somewhere else. I only do spin, but some people get a little bored of the gym. Some people, the gym's not for everybody, but you can find kind of a healthy alternative. Take up a martial art or do something like that. If you're not really into lifting weights, find a way to, work out by not really working out.
You know what I would say, Pat, that even for motivation, though, I don't know if you guys know or not, and every city's obviously different. This is Vegas, and there's a lot of strippers and hookers out here. But it's find an athletic club in your city, because going to the gym, there's usually beautiful women there. So that typically is good motivation for a lot of guys. No joke, like no shit. Like, it's a very real thing. There's I remember Arnold used to always talk about, like, if you squatting pretty sure there's research on this somewhere that if there's a bunch of hot women and you're like lifting, you lift more weights. Like it just triggers something in the male mind. Like, if for nothing else, go to the gym just to see the beautiful women, and don't be a fucking stalker or anything like that. But maybe that's what you need, just to kick you into that next gear. So, the sexist Ryback is at it again, talking about going to gym for beautiful women. That's it for me, Pat. I'm checked out.
I'm checked out too, man. It's been a long, short week. You got to get to another continent. I got to wake up and teach fake fighting. So
got to go disappoint a whole country. Wait, that's it? Any plugs?
You can follow me on all platforms. Buck never stops.
Yeah, I'm at Ryback22 on Twitter, the big guy Ryback22 on Instagram, and Ryback247 on Snapchat. Thank you guys very much. You've just listened to another episode of Conversations with the Big Guy.